And what is stuck? Okay, well, apparently I hit the keyboard and it made a whole bunch of noises. I'm just going to leave those in. Screw it. Welcome to episode 205 of the Zenspath Entertainment Network Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Bowers, and I need to work on clearing my desk better. Joining me today, other than my soundboard, is we have Chase.
Hello.
Steven.
Did I get the high score?
And Chris.
Jump.
Yeah, normally that sound is edited out, but I'm just going to leave it because it's just, that was hilarious. I was trying to figure out like what was I hitting on my keyboard and realized it pushed into it.
The expression said it all. You were just like, what? What?
I'm leaving that. I'm not even going to try and stop and redo this. That was great. Because the look on all your faces, you're just like, what's going on? Especially Chris. Chris had the funniest face of all.
Well, it's stuck that way, so.
Yeah, well, you can blame your parents. All right, so we have a little fun week today for stuff to talk about. I'm going to be insufferable talking about the new He-Man trailer. Hopefully some of you also enjoy it. Otherwise, prepare to learn things about my childhood. We have the Xbox Developer Direct with a couple of games, including one little surprising one and one that I kind of didn't care for. So we'll see what happens with that. Along with some other news and go from there. But before that, let's jump into what we've been doing. And Steven, let's start with you. What you been doing, man?
I've only played a scant amount of ZZZ. Surprisingly, I've only logged in a couple days this week. Because my heart and soul right now belongs to my mobile addiction adventures. I finally got to the level of one of them so I could delete it and get my $75 Amazon gift card. And then they're like, hey, there's only one more game left to do. And then if you get that, you've got all the cash back. So I was like, all right, I'll download that one and play that too.
Well, admitting it's an addiction is the first step. So we're getting you there.
I'll be juggling those 4 until they're done. And then I'll reward myself with like a bookcase or 2. We got further, Chris and I, in Absalom. We finally have all the characters. We had to, because you have to find them. We did find out there's an assist mode to change the damage ratios, and Chris got it backwards. Where he's just like, let's make it harder. And I was like, no, it's already hard enough. Because we can't seem to get to the end. It is a rogue light, so.
I think it's designed to be played with 4 players, that's all.
But it only does up to 2.
Interesting.
That's a poor choice then if that's the case.
Well, maybe we just suck.
4-player Switch 2 edition. I don't know. Other than that, round 1, which is kind of like a bowling arcade karaoke. It's like a Slice of Japan brought to the States, and it's all over the United States, and they do a lot of collaborations. Chris in particular wanted to go because there was a promotion or collaboration with Metaphor Refantasio, where you where basically you get a lot of Metaphor themed stuff, and they have some food which is Metaphor themed as well, which is not that tasty. It's okay. Took an hour to get our food because they forgot about us.
Yikes.
Oh, they were busy and short-staffed. It's like any kind of public, like bar club kind of thing. They're going to have 5 or 6 different orders in their head, so 1 or 2 are going to slip past.
Apparently, Chris was vaping heavily on empathy because he was just like, give him a break. I was like, no. I even forgot my fries. But other than that, there is a rare game they had there. A lot of them will have stuff like Contra and stuff. This one did not. I posted all the pictures of the unique games they had at the round 1 because they had Halo, which has a brand new campaign that you can't play on consoles. So I was like, okay. They had a VR Godzilla game, which was pretty sweet because even with your glasses on, you could still play. Nice. They had like a gigantic Bust a Move, with Bubble Bobble. So I was like, I love that there's a huge version of that. And a bunch of other stuff that I took pictures of because they heavily feature a lot of Japanese arcade games that are translated or imported. But the most important one they imported, which was in English, was Castlevania Marble of Souls. Think a coin pusher, but it's marble pushers instead.
Okay.
You basically swipe your card, and then you have a few shots you can make to shoot marbles in there, and those marbles then push things, or they help spin a wheel. And through that, once in a while, that you can get these cards that have to deal with different Castlevanias. I'll be showing them off in the pickups. But basically, that was my game. It was a hot machine, so I sat there while Christian walked around and played other stuff. Until I was just like, I wonder what he's doing, and I joined him for a couple of games of here and there, and then I went back to my hot machine of Marble of Souls. But once you get to a certain spot and you get like the super mega ultra gigantic jackpot, you're then given the ending, the generic ending, and if you want it to be character specific, you have to you'll get them back, insert the cards you earned during the game, and you'll see a specific ending for that Castlevania character. But I looked at him and I was like, well, technically I did beat this game because I saw the credits and everything, so
Technically, yes.
it was a good time. And
Nice.
Chris acted as my dad, saying, this is the last one.
Someone has to limit you, man. We're finding a trend. You have a bit of an addiction sometimes.
That I just had an end goal, and I said once I met it, I was fine.
That's fine. We just like giving you shit about it. All right. Chase, what about you? What you been doing?
So I'm still working on Rogue Trader at the moment. I'm in chapter 4 of chapter 5. So out of, I think, 5 chapters. So yeah, good.
You're getting there.
It's going well.
Nice. All right. Chris, what about you?
Well, I got back into Animal Crossing for a little bit, if nothing else for the update to see what was new. Got boring pretty quickly, so I don't know if I'm going to play more again. I played more of Balatro, and I finally got to the gold rank with one of the decks. So I'm nearly done. I have nearly every Joker and nearly every voucher. And then, who knows what happens after that. And I played my first game of Deadlock, Valve's Deadlock, which is basically the MOBA version of Dota 2. And now I know how it feels to be the player that brings the team down. I was terrible. But I managed to help. Our team still lost, but it was a close run thing. I had no idea games like that. One match was 40 minutes long. And
Yikes.
I'm not used to stuff like that. But a friend of mine is very into that series, so he's been trying to get me into it for the longest time. I'm sure once he plays a match with me as the team member, he will stop.
Damn, don't put yourself down that bad. All right. So for myself, I have also been playing Animal Crossing New Horizons with a new update, and I've apparently been having a lot more fun than Chris has. I've been working my way through the hotel, building that up over the week. I got to the point that I've got the special items unlocked, so I ordered all of the consoles and stuff that they had, messed around with those where you can play a game on them, which works surprisingly well, but doesn't save anything. It's just kind of a fun little extra. I wish the Game Boy you could display it sitting up instead of it's always laying down, but whatever, that's semantics at that point. Each version of the system, even if different regional ones, all play different titles. But like at least on the versions of the Super Nintendo, you can actually see the cartridge, and it is accurate artwork, which is kind of fun for like F-Zero and stuff like that. So it's a nice touch. I got the Switch 2 in there, which does nothing, but that now goes with my Switch.
What the hell? Why can't you use the Switch 2?
Yeah. Well, I didn't know what it would do. Like you click on it, it just kind of does the basic sound. Like I kind of wish the controllers would come out or something, do something. But that goes with my Switch, my OLED, my Animal Crossing one, which of course they had to put that in the game. So that's my 4th technical Switch that's in there. But I've been kind of rebuilding the whole island and refurbishing a lot of stuff and expanding things. I started using the amiibos to get some of the other characters to visit. So I got the Zelda one to visit. And then now I can order the Zelda items. So I've been getting those. So next, once I get all those finished, I'm going to try Splatoon and some of the other ones to get those characters to show up. See if I can get some of them to move in and start ordering the items for it. The other thing I've done is, this week's financial irresponsibility of me is I broke down and decided to buy a brand new 3D printer. I have the one you might be able to see behind me. Yes, it does work, but I wanted an even better one, and I got it. So I ordered a Bamboo Labs P2S with the 4-color option, so I can go. I already do like multicolor prints whenever it gets here, or multi-material. I'm not going to go to the extent this thing can go, because apparently you can get 4 of those units attached to it and have 16 colors at one time, and that is madness. Like, who in God's name needs 16 colors in one print? I'm sure somebody will say them, but not me. No, I'm good. Most will probably still be 1. The filament, the print heads, and some of the other stuff I ordered extra arrived today. The printer itself is not going to be here until end of January, early February. It's back ordered, but it'll get here eventually, and I'll find a place to put it. I was going to put it here where this one is. I think that one might be too big, and I need room in the back for the poop. Whenever it changes colors, it makes like a little curly ball of filament and spits it out, which is they literally just call it a poop chute. So we shall see. Chase, were you guys thinking about getting a 3D printer at some point? You're muted.
Yeah. We're actually looking at a Bamboo Labs as well.
I did a lot of research. I would look into the P2S. That thing, if you can get a hold of it, is phenomenal for what it's supposed to do. So I'll have that hopefully in the next week or two, and we can take a look at it. So that'll be fun.
Sorry, whenever you say the name, the manufacturer, all I can think of is Black Betty.
Bamboo Labs.
Yeah, hey, Black Betty, Bamboo Labs.
Surprised it hasn't been a commercial at some point. I will be playing Battlefield 6 because I got that surprise gifted to me today on Xbox from a friend of mine named Jeremiah. He, I guess, was wanting an excuse for me to play and join with them, and was like, "Oh, I never got you a birthday or Christmas gift, so I just ordered it for you." I was like, "You really didn't have to do that," which I'm guessing is the same reaction you guys get when I'm just like, "Yeah, we'll just play this on Steam. Here, I bought it for you," and you guys give me that look. I get it. But I'll be able to join in and play that a little bit. So now Chase and I both have it. We're still waiting on Steven to eventually get it. He'll probably get it about the time we've gotten tired of it and don't want to play it anymore. And then he'll pick it up.
November, December, yeah.
Yeah. We'll be like, oh, cool. We moved on to something else. I got Battlefield 6. Damn it. And then, because the other game that I've been wanting to play that I was playing with Jeremiah, I got back into Helldivers 2. Because I'm on my road on Xbox trying to get all my stuff back because cross save is just not a thing with this. So I had to start all over on Xbox, and I missed so many of my weapons and items that I used from level 15. I don't have my electric gun. I don't have my packs, the mech, anything. And I'm like, I feel like I'm just trying to scrape my way through in a pistol, a rifle, and a prayer.
You hear that, Arrowhead? That's the perfect time to release the Switch 2 port.
I don't know if I would get it for Switch 2 unless they had some way to actually give me cross saves. Something. It didn't have to be like, I'll buy, if I have to buy the expansions, fine. I get it. I'll earn those.
No crossplay, but we have Nintendo exclusive armors for Samus.
Okay, fuck you, I'd buy it. Damn it.
Xbox dropped the ball by not having like some kind of Halo thing, but I guess with crossplay.
Well, they do. They have ODST. And but that's available on all of them. That kind of makes more sense. And I think Chase will agree with me. Like, ODST is the perfect fit for this because that is basically what they're doing, just funnier.
You're basically like ODST troopers to begin with.
Right. So,
well, kind of like they can have the Federation Force for Nintendo.
That would work, especially if they found a way to keep them just as cartoony.
Oh yeah, let's bring back memories of that game.
I liked that game. I'll argue for it. It's not perfect, and it was a terrible time to announce it, but it was fun. All right, so let's jump over to game chat or group chat. Oh, game chat. I was there talking about stuff earlier. Good Lord. I am a mess today. Hey, at least I only hit the button once. All right, so Steven, I believe you and I have some pickups this week to talk about.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go first this time just because.
Okay, I'm going to organize mine real quick.
Yeah, you're going through yours. So we're going to talk a little bit here about Masters of the Universe, but I wanted to show off. Like, I tried to buy that many pop figures anymore, but I had to get this Orko. For those listening, I'm showing the Orko figure from Pop, who did a very cartoon accurate stylized coloring from Funimation. Or Funimation. Jesus. Yeah, from the original cartoon. I'm blanking on the name all of a sudden. But I really enjoyed that, and that kind of goes along with the book I already had, which we'll talk about in a bit for my He-Man Master of the Universe from Pixel Dan. But for games that I picked up, it was mostly NES and 360 this week that
Nice.
I grabbed. So I got a boxed copy, which isn't as complete as I was originally told. I got a little annoyed after I bought it and realized the book inside was a photocopy of it. So it's like from a rental place. But everything else is there. But it's the Three Stooges, which I bought strictly because I love the Three Stooges and I just like the look of the box. So I didn't pay like an exorbitant amount for it, but it's just nice to have. Then I got the Sunsoft version of Lemmings for NES, which I'm very curious to see how this one actually plays, because it's already tricky on some of the other systems. Like NES just seems like it's going to be screaming. My continuing getting of the Disney Capcom games, I got Mickey Mousecapade from them. This one, World Class Track Meet, if you guys remember, with the Power Pad. I picked this one up strictly because I have the one that is Super Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt, and this. And I've been getting every of the separate games to go along with my Super Mario variants. And I was like, well, I can just go ahead and throw in the normal Track Meet with it just to have it. Just like I have the normal Duck Hunt copy as well. And then I have Adventures of Lolo 2. I don't know if you remember this one at all, Steve.
Yeah, they exist in the Kirby universe.
Yeah, that's the other. Jennifer doesn't know about that yet. I'm going to have to show her that one.
You have to show her Kirby right back at you, and she'll be like, who are those people? And you'll be like, that's Lolo and Lala.
Oh, she knows all about that show. She loves it.
Okay, I guess Lolo and Lala haven't had a good episode yet.
Probably not. I did get one Switch game. I talked to you about this before, which was the Bubble Bobble for Friends. Paid a little much for it, but I wanted to get it. I love the old Bubble Bobble games. I want to see if I can play this, because you can use just the Pro Controller, but I want to see if I can play with my NES controller, because it just feels right. And see how that works. 360, these are the ones I was trying to pick up for a bit. Spider-Man Web of Shadows. This one, I'm trying to get a couple of these comic book games, because one of the guys, Waffles, over on our Discord, he does a podcast about comparing video games from comic books with their source or movies. So I'm trying to find an updated version of TMNT. I have it on PC, but I want to get one of the consoles just to make it easier to play. But I wanted to get Spider-Man Web of Shadows, and I'm trying to find some of the other ones as well. And then just because it was available, and I think we can still play this, Army of Two, 40th Day. So I got a few of the Army of Two games to go along with it.
I think it was I think it's the first one.
I have the first one too.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Chase, but one of them you have to buy the DLC for the true ending.
It's the first one.
Okay.
That's terrible.
That was back when DLC was like in its infancy, and people were trying to figure out like what were the scummiest ways that they could like use it.
Yeah, we got to the top of a building, and it was just like, if you'd like to see what really happened, $9.99, please.
Oh, that sucks.
You're like, what the?
And the last thing,
That's still not as bad as Asura's Wrath DLC, but
yeah, the last thing I bought, just because I bought the GameCube adapter and I'm looking for the other version of this, but I went ahead and picked up Phantasy Star Online episodes 1 and 2 for GameCube, which I'm going to see if I can get online with this. I know there's a plus version that includes all the DLC, but that one goes for like 150. I'm going to be a little pickier on that one when I come across it.
Just 3D print it.
Yeah, I'll see. But I mean, this one was complete, has all of its stuff. So I figured I would give it a shot and see how that works. All right, Steven, what about you? What you got?
So this year is turning out to be weird. First, I'm playing a game with mechs in it. Then I'm buying willingly Final Fantasy VII Remake. So I did get this. It's one of those that it has to be a key card, folks, because the game's huge. It's over 30 gigs. It came with a booster pack. I don't know if I'll open it yet because I have the cards I want or need. I might give it to a friend. Limited Run gave me more games, which was R-Type Delta HD boosted.
Ooh.
More R-Type. And
I love
Star
R-Type.
Ocean First Departure R, which uses kind of like the Octopath type graphics. So now I have all the Star Ocean games again.
Oh, another HD 2D title. Joey's gonna love that.
I picked up this because it was on sale on Amazon. The Power Hub GAN docking. It's basically for the Switch One and other devices. Makes it so you don't need a dock. You can just use the plug. So I don't know if I'll use it specifically for the Switch One because I know Nintendo hates these things, but it has all these other uses for it. So I'm looking at all the other pictures of devices they have on the front, and I was just like, maybe I can get something with it. It was only like $10 with the coupon, so it wasn't bad. Onward to my round one adventure. Part of the because Chris is holding them up right now, but you can't see them. But there's a collector's cup for Metaphor that you get, and they tell you to wash it first, but you don't really need to. You can just drink out of it because you get a free soda refill when you get it. There's a play mat you get for Phase 1 had all the characters. Phase 2 only has a couple characters. Christian got the last one, so good.
I'm about to say Chris probably has all of these things because if he doesn't, you're at danger. He will come for them.
This episode is gonna be great. They gave out keychains when you got a certain reload on the card. I didn't know they had Phase 1. I didn't know even the characters from Phase 1, but Christian was happy because he got a character from that. I got one from Phase 2. It's hung up in my keychain collection, so I can't get it down right now. Got a coaster for getting their weird fizz drink that just tasted like sugar with iron balls in it.
What kind of event was this?
It's a collaboration. They had a lot of anime ones too. They didn't have any other gaming ones other than this one.
Oh, okay.
And then, as shown in some of my Discord pictures, they had an Injustice card game, which would give you a card.
Oh, I got a bunch of those. Yeah, I have a bunch of
only
those.
missing 249 more, but no, I'm not going to get those. They had a Marvel Champions one. You can collect them all too. I got Beast.
Nice.
They had a Minecraft Dungeons arcade game with cards as well.
I got a bunch of those.
I got the Green Menace. And then for the Castlevania one, these are the different ones. So you have, this one is the ladies of Castlevania pretty much.
Okay.
So you got Maria, Charlotte, and Shanoa. And then you have Jonathan. These are from all the different games. You have Richter. And these are like hard, like credit card feeling cards, so they're nice.
Oh, okay.
You have Simon, because they all have strips on the back to read.
Oh, makes sense.
You have Charlotte. And then, of course, with Charlotte, you also have Shanoa. You have Maria. So they're covering all the games they can. You have Alucard.
The card.
You had ones that were for tickets, but I don't want the tickets. I just want the cards for the Vampire Killer and the Sword and Shield. And then lastly, they'll keep doing this, but to actually reload the points, if you signed up for their membership, you got the card. This one was a reloadable Metaphor arcade card.
Oh.
Christian got mad at me because I may have gotten a few more cards to go with that. So I had a big stack when I was done. And he's like, how long did you play? And I was just like, just long enough.
I can't say much. Like I went last time I was at an arcade, they had a Star Trek one like that you could get the cards for. And I sat there until I had a complete set, at least one. So yeah, I can't say shit on that one. I'm just as guilty.
But yeah, I got a bunch of cards now. I think I have to go on eBay for the last two because Chris does not want me to go back there and play just that for the whole time.
Somebody has to financially protect you. And we can't take your phone away, so we got to do something. Chase, did you have any pickups this week or anything you wanted to show off?
No, I've been too busy building stuff all weekend. I haven't really had any time for pickups.
That's what a lot of my time's been working on things as well. I mean, Chris, I don't know if you wanted to talk about any of it. I know we can't see it, but...
Steve got most of it anyway.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. All right, so let's jump over to... Real quick, I want to talk about us playing Peak last week. Because that was a mess.
Well, okay, so there was an update. And with the update, they did change, or with their rotation, they do change how the levels are. I know the update introduced zombies, like Last of Us type zombies, but we didn't even get to them.
Yeah, because the second level became what almost feels like unbeatable. Like it went from like, oh, it ramps up and it's kind of a challenge to, okay, you finished the first level. Fuck you. You're not getting any further. Here's everything covered in poisonous spikes. Good luck.
And it's not normal poison, too. It's poison that does not go away.
Yeah, I think on our best run, we didn't even make it halfway. And we were trying. Chase, thank you for actually stopping and helping me to get up with stuff. Steven, thank you for just running off and leaving me half the time.
Okay, listen, I had PTSD from that because I helped Chase, and he grabbed me so hard he threw me off the cliff.
Oh, I didn't know you could throw people. I thought as soon as it grabbed you, it would pull you up.
He pulled way too.
It wasn't
He
intentional.
pulled way too hard.
I don't think I intentionally did it, but the problem was that it was on one of those. It was on like a rock where it's like this probably shouldn't necessarily be a place you can stand on, but somehow you can stand on it. Swan like walked right up to the edge to pick me up, and as he picked me up, his character just slipped right off of it.
But somehow I did it back to him when he helped me up.
Yeah.
So I was like, we don't know our own strength. We also learned that, and Chris, you'd like to know this. You shouldn't cook the lantern that's full of gas and it explodes.
Nice.
I blew it up in my face.
And what was the other thing we cooked that exploded?
A flare.
What was that?
Yeah, the flare. The flare's the one you
I was
guys
like, what
learned
happens
about.
if you cook a flare that you usually light? That explodes too. So we did a handicap run where we were like, let's do it with some injuries.
If you cook Bongo, he just stops talking. He just stops working completely. But you can cook him. So
cook everything.
Yeah, I don't. I talked to some, like you guys were talking about, like, yeah, you're not supposed to beat it. And it's like, I get that, but like the second level should not ramp up in that kind of difficulty because like you're just going to keep repeating the first stage over and over again. And that's going to get boring after a while. But I don't know what was up with that second one. Like I could not figure out how we were supposed to get up to the top. It was absolutely nuts. Thankfully, that level didn't have the wind because Steven, you remember the level with the wind?
Yeah, I became Mary Poppins more than once when I had the umbrella.
Yeah, so did I.
I think my finest moment last week was thinking that one balloon would help me soften my fall, and you just heard me on the way down saying, one balloon doesn't work, one balloon doesn't work.
Oh, God. What was it? I got you with the grapple gun and like yoinked you a surprisingly far distance all the way up a cliff. You just hear you yelling the whole time.
I don't think he was prepared for it though because he completely missed the grabbing onto the rock.
I wasn't informed.
Sorry. Oh, man. So, yeah, the difficulty ramped up in a weird way with the update, but we're still having fun and laughing at our stupidity at what we're trying to do. So, yeah, let's see how that goes.
I just wish that they would fix the... So, like, if I'm in a lobby or if I'm at the main menu...
Oh, yeah.
And I accept an invite from you guys, it won't switch over. It's, like, really... Like... It's really
weird.
annoying.
It's weird that you that I've found out, at least from my experience, you can't be in the game. You have to be out of the game, get the invite, click on that, and it lets you in fine.
Yeah,
So we
If you're
got
in the
we have
game,
to
you
determine.
can't possibly click on the invite because the game UI is taking over.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to determine who's going to be hosting to begin with, because it just gets messy when everyone just signs into it and then nobody can join.
If you can't hear or talk, then just close your game and try again, and it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a perfect game, but it's fun. All right.
Yeah.
So now we're going to go over the progress for our assigned games. I have not had a chance to really play mine this week. I've been working on other projects, having to finally rebuild some of my game room hardware that I got the capacitors and stuff in. And I was working on rebuilding an Xbox for a kid that, good God, I had to replace the clock capacitor on that thing. And then now I got to replace belts on it. But
if you need a solder job, I know a guy.
No. What's up, Steven?
I did let Christian know about your adventures.
I was about to tell him about those. Chris, I started playing Star Control 2, the Euroquan Masters. I should have listened to you and done it that way first, because holy shit, every other way of trying to start this game was a pain in my ass. But I have it running now, so that's good. I'm enjoying it. It's got a good sense of humor. I'm looking forward to exploring out further to see what kind of shenanigans I get into. Because even just finding the first race of aliens and convincing them to join my group was a mess, because they were so weird to talk to. I have killed so many people on shuttlecraft by just landing on planets, not knowing what's going on, and just like waves of fire and other things and random explosions. And I'm like, nope, let's go. Because every time you get hit, you just like lose 3 people.
Yeah, what I would suggest is save early and save often. You have over 20 save files. If you even have to save before you reach any planet, do so, because there's going to be a lot of, a lot of planet and space exploration. You're going to talk to a lot of different aliens. Some of them will be friendly. Some of them will shoot you on sight. So yes, save often. And
yeah, I'm doing the old school save scumming. I'm okay with that.
But yes, I'm glad it worked. I never played the Steam versions for 1 and 2 because I already had the freeware version that I told you about. And it was
what
already
annoyed me,
optimized.
yeah, because I was trying to give them some money, to do something, and I was like, it was like $3. It wouldn't be that bad. I'll pick it up.
Fair.
But the Steam version and the GOG version are strictly just the DOS version. So there is no sound, like no voice chat and stuff like that. Very limited music. The controls are really messy to try and figure out. There's no controller support whatsoever unless you try and code some stuff to it, which wasn't working well. The version you have me get combines the 3DO and the DOS versions, so you get the best of both of them. You get the voice acting, you get animations, you get better interfaces, and I was like, okay, this is going to work. I have to play it on my desktop here. I'm trying to get it where I can move it over and play it on my laptop as well, because I'd like to have it on the go in some form. And that was my initial hope for getting it on Steam, is maybe I could play it on my Steam Deck or my Legion or something so I could travel with it. No, you need a controller and a keyboard to play this thing correctly. So it's going to be laptop at best is what I'll end up doing. But I'm enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. It is a quirky ass game in the best way.
Well, it's made by fans of Star Trek and that kind of space exploration era and Buck Rogers and all that stuff. So
it's
a lot of tropes.
There's a lot of the 60s Star Trek references, which I like. Those little jokes and stuff in there, because this came out late 80s, early 90s, I think, or no,
1993 around.
No, yeah,
3DO at least.
So TNG was around at the time, so it was probably like a lot of the story might have been based on some of the earlier stuff of it, the first couple of years, if they had stuff. But yeah, I'm liking it.
Everybody that goes into a shuttle is wearing a red shirt.
Yeah, I've already completely blew up one shuttle and just went, I'm going to go back to an old save. Like, I'm just, this mission never happened. You can't prove it. And just rewound time, which is the most Star Trek thing I could do. So that's how you bring back whales. All right. Chase, what about you? You got any updates on your game for this week?
I have, I've been building, so I haven't really played too much this weekend, but
fair.
I bought Time Splitters, both of them.
Nice.
So I'm ready to do that.
Nice. Looking forward to hearing about that one. Chris, what about you?
I'm nearly done with Carrion.
It's not a super long game. Yeah.
It's fun. It's definitely weird and gross and very you are the horror movie kind of thing. The one thing that I don't like, and I understand it's part of the puzzle element, is the fact that you kind of have to shed some of your mass in order to use some of the powers. So you're kind of stuck being weaker and tinier for some sections, or you have to be huge. But all in all, it's a very cool and fun adventure. And
yeah, it makes you balance that out for certain stuff, which is kind of a challenge.
And after that, I did play the demo for Neon Inferno. It was beautiful, and I will probably end up getting that game myself. And I played a little bit of Rogue Trader. I believe Steve mentioned my little escapade where a very important Baroness type figure basically, was waiting for my response for something. And I said, like, well, could I ask for more information? And then she said, oh, I see you have no drive. You're an idiot, and you're not going to be any good at this. I'm like, oh, I see. I have to put my best foot forward, even though I started the goddamn tutorial. Fine.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So, looks like I have to play this as muy macho. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh my god. Steven, what about you? What's your updates?
I'm going to preface this with with recent news. Respawn, you probably were working on a Rainbow Six Vegas for all we know, but it got canceled again. So that's just par for the course. But playing through it again, playing through more of the story, I once again will say Respawn. There's another game you could easily make, and it would be great. And that's if you ever wanted to make a sequel to Time Shift, because that was the best use of time travel I've seen.
I was wondering when you were going to get to that part.
Where it was done with all the different puzzles, and I would like shoot a guy dead and I would see him dead, and I'm like, this is really cool that it's doing this, to do this back and forth. So I was just like, I really like this. I kind of liked the reconstructions you could do to kind of solve a mystery or see what's going on. There was a part where one of the big bads had the longest monologue in the world while I was looking at their big project for time travel, and I was like, maybe I get an achievement for listening to this long-winded, horrible speech. I didn't get anything, but I heard it all. I was like, okay.
It makes you wish you could time travel to take it back.
Like I was telling Chris, I do like that there's the serious replies and then the funny replies, because I had the other one where I've gotten to and past the part, but I've gotten to the part where he decides BT's gonna throw you, and he's like, excuse me, and he's just like, I don't miss, don't worry, and you just see him like line up his shot, like almost like he's like checking the wind, and then he's like, okay, I got it, and he chucks you, and then you can actually be like, I made it safely, or you can say, I think I need to change my pants. And he says, noted. I will remember that for next time. I will order a fresh pair of pants. I got up to and had to fight the Arnold Schwarzenegger bad impersonator. I forget his name. I think it's Belmont or something. But I think Chris walked in when I was fighting him because he just kept saying, he's just like, oh, you're going to get it now. You're going to die. And then he died. That was great. So I think I've just gotten past that part, and it's now saved because I usually wait until I see a new title, and I'm like, okay, this is a good place to stop.
Right.
As I go through it. Really no complaints. Some of the helmets are getting easier to find or get, at least. I do like how generous they are with that wall running, where you can kind of like reposition yourself and try again sometimes when you're doing certain things. The Ghost Runner is helpful when you're just like, can I run on that? And it's like, yeah, you can. So that was helpful.
It's a surprisingly intuitive game for a lot of their stuff.
But other than that, I'm always looking for their the sniper rifles, because they had one that like could one-shot robots, and I was like,
Sniper
how
rifles are
big
fun.
do these sniper rifles get? Because this is great. because this one had like a computer attached to it. I was like, this looks like something I would have soldered. This is great. But yeah, so far so good.
Awesome. Once again, I'm sure Chase and I are both happy that you're enjoying this.
It's a good game.
I just like how it makes him squirm that he has to admit he's enjoying a game with a mech.
No,
I'm getting my revenge.
The time traveling level was actually really well thought out.
Yeah, time travel gameplay was some of the best time travel stuff I've gotten to play with, because you could just keep doing it on the fly as much as you wanted.
Yeah, when you're going down that chute with like the fans and stuff, and you have to keep like timing it.
Yeah, that I got first try, but that was harrowing. I was just like, yeah, that's what they did this for. They wanted to give you a fucking butt clenching moment of going through all the fans. I was like, oh jeez.
It was a really good highlight for that generation, because it really was a game they could not have pulled off on older hardware. Like, the first Titanfall was mostly multiplayer, and it was on 360 in one form, but Titanfall 2 was strictly Xbox One, PS4 era, and PC, and just really ran with it with what it could do. So,
and again, especially with the sniper rifle with the PC tower attached to it, the audio design is because you get the perfect base when you shoot something that big, and Christian was behind me and he was just like, whoa. I was like, yep.
I mean, to me, Titanfall 2, it's like when Capcom made Resident Evil 4, if they had just stopped making Resident Evil after that, like, oh, we made Resident Evil 4, it's great, we're never going to make any more again. And that's what happened with this. Like, we made Titanfall 2. It makes
it hurt that much more when they're like, they were making another game and it got canceled. I'm like, come on, Respawn, I want to see another game. It doesn't have to be Titanfall anymore. It just has to be a game from you guys.
No kidding. Not just whatever else they get shoved into. All right, let's jump over to our news. So, we have the trailer. The Masters of the Universe finally got its first teaser trailer, and then the next day an actual trailer. And as an 80s kid who grew up on this stuff, down to the point I still have a record player from Masters of the Universe. Holy shit, they did such a good job. I am so happy with this. There are tons of references, and I really apologize. I'm going to tell you guys now, if I end up doing the whole teacher thing, this is the one time you're going to just fucking deal with it.
You're going to learn today.
Yeah. Like I said, I have the toys of the He-Man and Masters of the Universe book from Pixel Dan. Absolutely phenomenal if you collect the toys or ever love this stuff to look at. This thing weighs like half a ton. It is one of the bigger books I have. But I use this for light reading. Like, I just love going through here and remembering a lot of this stuff. So we'll start off with the cast for this. Some of them I knew about. I was happy to hear about the casting. Some of them I didn't know, but I like how they look. So Nicholas Gilitzine. Steven's going to love how I pronounce everything today. Oh, there's a name at the end of this list that I am not even sure how I'm going to try this. It has got so many umlauts and letters in the wrong direction that I'm like, God help me. Anyways, Nicholas is He-Man. You might know him from Mary and George TV series or 100 Nights of Heroes. Does a really good job. They show him as Adam in the trailer itself, which is Adam Glenn, which is his mom's maiden name because she was an astronaut from Earth that went to Eternia on accident, met the king, got married. That's when they had Prince Adam. So it looks like the story of it is he's got sent back to Earth, not as a baby. They're not doing like a Superman. He's old enough to remember this world. So through the trailer, he's talking about it. Like, he knows about Eternia. He knows it exists. He's not crazy. He's just there surviving, doing what he has to mix in with people while he's trying to find his sword, which I was so happy to see. That damn sword is perfectly accurate to the movie or to the TV show and the toys and everything. The only difference between the toy is just the fact it doesn't look like it's split in two, because you could mix it with Skeletor's sword. And obviously they don't have the extra handle on the hand because, it's his fucking sword. You can just hold it. But looks good. We actually do get to see him transform into He-Man, which also looked good. The actual costume, what there actually is of it. He's mostly naked. Let's just admit it.
He's got a six-pack.
Yeah. No, he's in good shape. People are complaining like, oh, he's not big enough. And I'm like, I think it's fine. He looks a hell of a lot healthier than I do. So I can't. Pretty sure he could, bench press every one of us here. And that's kind of the point of it. Like, he doesn't have to always be giant. Like, that's how the toys were designed. But even in the cartoon, he was bigger, but not super big. The only questionable cast member is Jared Leto as Skeletor, which, I mean, he's here. The character looks really, really good. They went with the full skull face, which does animate. They're not treating it like a solid bone. It's animating like the original cartoon did. He's got the empty eyes with the red dots. We have not heard him speak, which I'm very curious how that's going to go. Go ahead, Steven.
Movie guys, if you're listening, hopefully you are. Hi. Please do what they did in Twisted Metal. While I don't agree that they replaced Samoa Joe, who already said all the lines, they just dubbed in a different voice actor for Sweet Tooth and using the person who was doing the body work. Have Jared Leto do the body work all he wants, but please tell me that he's not trying to do like a Joker Skeletor hybrid, and hopefully you've just I don't care, even use the original Skeletor, he's still alive. But just get in a different voice. You did it for Venom after a while, and then when that guy passed, you gave it to Tom Hardy, but at least you changed it enough that you couldn't tell it was him.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what he does for the voice of this. I don't think he's going to try and repeat the higher pitched cartoon voice, because that was meant to be like a classic maniacal, type voice. So I don't think we're going to get that. I think part of why they cast Jared Leto is probably going to be flashbacks to before he was turned into Skeletor, when he was still Kaldor, I believe was his name. You'll probably get him in that form. Who knows? Maybe we'll get to see his face melt away. That could be kind of, lethargic for some people to watch Jared Leto's face melt off.
Yeah,
I don't know.
A lot of people, like, I'm not saying this movie will be that way, but so far he's proven that he's box office poison. So don't ruin this movie for us, Jared.
I'm going to go see this no matter what. I don't care. I will go. I will put the money in. I don't care. He has his Havoc staff, which looks beautiful. I love how they did that. Because normally, like, it's got the ram head on it, like it should, but they added a little extra touch at the end of the staff. It's partially connected with part of a spine that actually kind of arches back. And I don't remember that being in the original toy. It was supposed to be just the head with like a little ball on it, and that's what the staff was in. So that's kind of a nice update to it. They do show him fighting He-Man some, which looks like it's going to be some pretty kinetic fighting. A lot of the electricity and magic and stuff going on. So they're very much going, the old animated style. So next we had Camila Mendez as Tila, who you might know her from Riverdale. Her suit looked pretty accurate to a lot of the cartoon stuff. Not sure how her relationship is going to connect with her dad from the original story, which was Man-at-Arms, because they have a little bit of a difference with who everybody is. It might be more of like an adopted thing versus what it originally was. But I'll skip ahead because Idris Elba is Man-at-Arms, and people are just like, wow, Man-at-Arms is supposed to be white. And I like the rule that if you can get Idris Elba, you get Idris Elba, and you're good with it because he's good. I like how he looks in the suit. I have a feeling he's going to be really good in that role. I'm not having any complaints whatsoever. I mean, shit, he made a good Roland in the Gunslinger to me. Like, I thought he did a good job with that for how they explained it. And like, that's another series I grew up reading and actually enjoy. So I'm going to give that man a shot. I'm okay with it.
Before his passing, Michael Clark Duncan was a perfect Kingpin.
Yeah. He did that. He was one of the highlights of that movie, honestly.
He already had the size, so it would have been nice to see him. But again,
the size and his voice was such a good fit because it was imposing without being like loud. He just had that tenor to it. But yeah, I think he's going to make a good Man-at-Arms. I like how his armor looks. It's a little duller than a lot of people are used to, but the toys were from Filmation. That's the word I was trying to think. Filmation. They were very bright poppy colors, which they're not going to play over well in a realistic movie. The orange and green is still there. It's just kind of dulled a bit. We had Marina Bakarin as the sorceress, who you might know from Deadpool and Serenity, which I didn't even realize that was her at first until I was looking up the cast list. Which you do see her in her bird form at the very beginning of the trailer, which they stuck with the rainbow wings. That was a nice touch. It still has the very colorful part for that. Alison Brie is Evil-Lyn from Community and Mad Men. And she does have the short blonde hair. I guess they just kind of styled it for that inside of there, but a really accurate suit for her. We had Charlotte Riley as Queen Marlena, who you might know from Wild Animal and Fireworks, who, once again, I was saying she was the astronaut that crash landed on Eternia after like going through a wormhole type thing. That wasn't in the original stories, but that was in the Filmation animated series, so it is canon for that. Oh, and the last one I'm going to try, and I don't know how to say this name. Half-Poor Julius Bjornsson? I don't know. He's Goat Man. He was also known as, he was Gregor the Mountain Clegane in Game of Thrones, so he's a big guy. But I love the fact Goat Man, he was only shown up once in all of He-Man, and that was in a children's book that went along with the series. He showed up as a villain that was with Skeletor. Never showed up anywhere else, and they've got his ass in this movie. That's a deep cut. Like, you don't, it's like, I think it's like one of those golden books. Like, you guys remember those from when you were kids? It was a He-Man one of those. That's where Goatman came from.
They still make them. I have the Mario one.
Yeah, they do still make them, which is just really funny that they pulled from that. I went through and watched this whole trailer frame by frame. I watched it in slow motion. I sat there and studied it. Every time I would see something that I thought was something, I looked through my book or looked online for reference to compare it to find out what it is. And I have a quick list of all the little things I found to reference. So first off, I know we can see it in the trailer, but Cringer, his lion, is there. Looks really good. But I like the fact that at the very beginning of it, when Adam is talking, and I don't know who he's talking to, but he says like all this stuff, like magic and talking animals, they exist in the world I'm from, which hopefully we will get Cringer talking, because Cringer should talk. That lion should talk and be scared of everything half the time. Needs to happen. Fisto showed up, which was kind of a surprise. I like the fact that like he's got the big metal right fist, but his toy was like spring actioned, so you could hit the little button and it would do the punch going up. But in the movie, he's got like little rocket jets in the glove that speed him up when he punches, because he punches Spikor in the face, and that's one of the other villains that shows up. You see Beastman, which I'm pretty sure that shot they had was reversed, because you see him jumping off of a crushed cop car and then landing on top of a cop car and crushing it. And I have a feeling those two scenes are backwards, that you see him land on the car and then he's jumping on somebody or fighting somebody. But he looked really, really good. I want to see how tall he is, though, because he's supposed to be pretty damn imposing, but you can't tell. He's hunched over. Trapjaw, you only see for 2 scenes, and they got his ass perfect. Like, down to, the way his helmet is, the right arm with the hook on it at the time, because he can swap that out. The coloring of his body, everything looked absolutely perfect. And like the 2 quick shots you get to see him in. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of him in there. Ram Man shows up. You only get to see like part of him, but he is short, he's stocky, and I'm hoping he's still an idiot, because he has got too many concussions and sounds like a retired football player. Like, he is just beating his brain to a pulp. We had Mechaneck, who showed up behind him. Are any of you guys familiar with He-Man toys at all? Let's say, Chase, I didn't think you would be. No offense.
I was looking for Manny faces.
I've got him on my list of ones I want to see. So Mechaneck was a toy that his whole thing was the fact that you could just extend his head up. Like, that's all he did, was he extend his head. But he had very visually striking, like green glowing triangle goggles. And right behind Ram Man, you can see those goggles in the background. So there's a good chance he's in there. I mentioned Spikor. Tri-Klops, I didn't see him in the trailer, but he does have a listing on the IMDb page for actors. So they do have someone for that. Mentioned before, the sorceress in the bird form. Roboto we see during the teaser and the main trailer. He's on the left of the vehicle when the part drops down. I'm curious to see if their chest comes off and you get to see the gears inside, because that's what the original toy was designed for. It was a clear chest with like fake the gears inside. So hopefully we get to see it. Vicor, which is the statue in the story he's trying to pull the sword from, is actually an early like Conan style He-Man design that was done. So it's kind of fun that they're bringing that back. I guess they're saying because He-Man never was a thing in that world, because He-Man exists, that the creator's original artist's work of Vicor and stuff is what ended up becoming popular. So kind of a nice deep cut. For vehicles, we got to see the Talon Fighter, which is like a bird jet at the very beginning of the trailer. The Roton Fighter possibly is a ship with the rings. It normally is supposed to be a land-based one with a spinning part. That's the best I can guess. Skeletor's collector ship was a nice little deep cut, because he would fly around on that in the cartoon, and they had the little claws on the side, and it looks kind of like a skull type shape. And they did a pretty damn good job modernizing that, because that's what lands on the platform. The Fright Flyer, which is like a bug vehicle, looks like a dragonfly. You can see go by in a couple of the scenes, as well as Snake Mountain, which you see Skeletor in at the end of the trailer. So characters I would like to see show up, and these are ones I'm hoping to see because they're kind of crazy. Merman, which was always a nice classic villain who had that really gurgly voice. That's one of the ones I would kind of hope they would bring that voice style back, because he should just be hard to understand. I'm hoping for Mossman, just because that was one of the ones I had as a kid. Do not get that wet, by the way. It smells horrible.
I was going to say, it's not the one that smells.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way when I took it into the bath as a kid, and then it did not smell right ever since. The Battle Ram vehicle I would kind of like to see, because this was the one that they would drive around on, with the front would come off like a jet ski that you could fly around on. Shows up in a lot of the series. This is a little Hot Wheel version of it. I don't know if I still have my original toy, but I was kind of happy they released some of these as die-cast that you can mess around with. And then, of course, Manny Faces is what you had mentioned, Steven. Hopefully he'll show up. Buzz Off was the big B guy. I just want to see what the hell they could do with that. Extendar. This was a weird one, because it was like a full knight in body armor, like full knight armor that I had, but all of his limbs and his head would extend out. So like from the main body, his head could extend up, his arms would like stretch out. Like it was just such a weird toy, but I wanted to see it done. Faker was like the blue skinned fake He-Man. Think of it kind of like Bizarro. That seems like that might be like an after credits reference or something if they did it. Whiplash was the big snake guy, and then finally Too Bad, which was the dude with two heads that was like merged together. That was like the orange and the purple shoved together, that could normally punch with the toy, but it was always kind of funny that it could punch each other. So you could technically have it knock itself out. Any other characters you guys would want to see or think about?
I'm surprised you didn't mention, maybe it'll be an after credits thing, but She-Ra.
I was thinking that could be. I was trying to find a way to limit myself on this, because I know y'all are already looking at me like, what the hell? Thank you for letting me do this, by the way. Yeah, She-Ra, I would like to see a reference.
That would be the perfect after credits, because then that would, lead. It would kind of almost be like a Superman, Supergirl type of thing, saying like, so did you like the male character? Well, here's the female portion too. She-Ra
would be a good fit, and her cartoon, I think, has been a lot more popular in modern times than the attempts at He-Man. Like, they've done some good new animated He-Man stuff, but She-Ra, I think, picked up a lot more for a lot of people.
The new She-Ra cartoon is a little different, though, so that makes you wonder which version they would do.
That one's very, I wouldn't say Adventure Time. That one's very Steven Universe.
But it was very popular, and it added a lot of... what would I say? A lot of depth to characters that were normally just carbon copies.
I, for one, absolutely adored and was glued to the screen. It's probably my favorite He-Man iteration ever so far. was Revelation.
Oh, the
Part
Netflix one?
The Blu-ray of both of them together is out of print. It's over $200 now.
Yikes.
I'm hoping they reprinted for the movie coming out, like to just, get more money off of the success of He-Man. And I hope the people working on the He-Man fighting beat 'em up. Perfect time to release in June, guys. That's when everybody will be talking about He-Man. So release the game then. Make sure it's ready.
Yep.
But yeah, like I was kind of like ho hum on He-Man until Kevin Smith was like, "Look what I did to it," and I was just like, "Holy crap!" I was just like, "I'm on board." So
He-Man's always had a history with me over the years because like I grew up watching it. I had the toys, the lunchbox, the bed sheets. I think I was like 6 years old when the first live action movie came out, and that was the very first movie I ever saw in theaters. Was going to see Masters of the Universe, the Dolph Lundgren version, which I absolutely loved that one as a kid. It was definitely weird, but I was a kid. I didn't give a shit. So I'm looking forward to this one kind of carrying that on. She-Ra would be good. It'd be kind of a nice little touch. Maybe have like a mention of Hordak or some of those to kind of carry over with it. The animated, the newer She-Ra, is she still his cousin, or is He-Man even mentioned? I haven't got a chance to watch that one yet.
I don't remember, to be honest.
Okay.
I think they set it apart just for the sake of it being its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows? There might be other interpretations.
Okay. Yeah, there's always room for different variations of it. Just like with Transformers, there's a lot of different series that don't always connect that I always enjoy. So story theories I wanted to go through because after watching the trailer, the way I think this movie's going to go is you're going to have the attack on Eternia because they show the castle and the area around there. Castle Grayskull is surprisingly close to the castle, like the actual city. It's just a bridge to cross over to it. Normally it's a out of the way type thing. So I'm wondering if Skeletor wins this initial battle, or maybe whatever happens is what causes him to turn into Skeletor, but they win. The queen has to send Adam off to try and protect him and sends him back to Earth, because that's where she's from. Maybe she knows some people that can watch him or do something to try and help. He's old enough to remember it, but the whole, that part of Eternia could be destroyed for their kingdom, which would make the castle kind of out of the way because maybe they moved to somewhere else to try and survive. You've got stragglers left over. They show Man-at-Arms during the trailer like really rough looking, like his hair's grown out, his armor, what he has left of it is tarnished and messed up. And I kind of wonder if he's like just like a freedom fighter, like fighting back against Skeletor's regime. And once He-Man or Adam finds the sword, that tells them where it is because according to the original story, if I'm probably the only one that remembers this, to get into Castle Grayskull, you had to have both swords, both the power swords, which was the whole thing that Skeletor had half of it and He-Man had the other half, and you had to combine them, and that would actually work as a key to the toy to unlock the gate to let you in. So I'm wondering if they sealed the castle. They can't get into it because of the magic. The sword got sent with Adam, and that's part of why it was to protect him and separate the sword from there. So they're trying to find it. When he touches it, probably tells them where it's at. They come to try and get it, rescue him, come back, try and get everyone together, fight, beat Skeletor, finish the movie. That's how I think it's going to go. All of this from one fucking trailer. So that leads to the fact, where is Orko? He hasn't shown up in anything yet. And he better freaking be in this movie. Because they cannot go to this level of detail of all of the toys and people and vehicles and places and not have that floating little wizard in there. Like, they can't. So, yeah. I just want Orko. Make it happen, and we'll talk. That's my one thing that I'm be like, you can screw this up. I will take Orko if Jared Leto has to talk a normal voice the entire time. I don't care. I want Orko in there. I'll make that deal. It's a hell of a deal.
When Jared Leto speaks, it sounds like Space Hulk.
I will, if I get a good Orko, I'll put up with it. I hope to God it's not the case, but that's my monkey paw wish if I have to do it. So, So yeah, one last thing. Like, do you guys, Chris? I know you watched the trailer right before the show. Did you guys have any quick thoughts on it or feelings of yourself? Are you interested in this at all? Like, I'm fine if you're not. Not everyone's into He-Man. I get it. And since I know you just watched it, Chris, we'll start with you.
It looks interesting, but I've never really been into the toys.
Fair.
They always kind of looked like the same exact mold with different heads on, so it didn't quite grab me. But and I was more into Thundercats than He-Man myself. So
There were some good. There were some really good Thundercats and He-Man crossovers for stuff.
It's very important that this movie does well, because then movie studios will run with it, and then you might see Thundercats.
For sure. Steven, what about you? What's your thoughts on it?
Well, I'm kind of like, I hope they don't spend too much time on the real world stuff, because that's not like a plot I've usually liked about these. Like, I want most of it to take place in Eternia, so that's just my main hope, and that they replace Jared Leto's voice. Okay.
I think we're going to get a little bit in Earth, because just setting up Adam's life. And then
the origin's fine.
Yeah, I think we'll quickly go to where they're going back.
I don't need like a big battle to. I know there's some, but I don't need a big battle to happen on Earth. So
yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be the hunt for the sword, but I think he gets it pretty quick. I mean, they already show him still dressed in what he was wearing with the sword leaving, so you're probably going to get that initial fight. You know, people's reaction to like Beast Man and stuff like that, like the horror of not seeing this stuff. Well, in Eternia, it's like, oh, it's Tuesday. This giant animal man just walked by. So Chase, what about you? Did you watch the trailer at all, or is this just not anywhere near your wheelhouse?
Well, so I saw the trailer. I saw the teaser. I didn't see the full one, but I mean, I'll go see it. I'll see the movie. I watched the cartoon back when, like, I used to watch it on Boomerang.
Nice.
So like I know of the cartoon and kind of a little bit of the story, but I don't necessarily know like as in depth as other people. So I'm, but I will definitely see it.
All right. Yeah, it's no shock. I'm going to go see it the day it comes out. I will be buying this when it comes home. If they have video games with it, I will play them. I'm all in. I'm kind of hoping for a new toy line. They could make some pretty good updated ones, which they already had some good ones from the classic series. So who knows? We shall see. All right. I have made you sit through enough He-Man. I apologize. I know we said we weren't going to do this anymore on the show, but damn it, this was an exception.
Join us next time when Man of Steel comes out and he does it again.
I haven't done this since Superman.
I know what I'm saying.
Touche. All right. Let's go into our next bit of news then. All right. We had the Xbox Developer Direct 2026 that had a number of games they already announced and one little fun surprise. So starting off, we had Forza Horizon 6. This one, they had a bunch of stuff about. It's coming out May 19th this year for the Series X, S, and PC, and then sometime later for PlayStation 5. So they said it is coming, but they're not getting it at launch. This time, though, we are set in Japan, which our last one was set in, I believe, Australia. Or was that the one before it? One was in Mexico.
Last one was Mexico.
Yeah, sorry.
Australia
They've been all over it.
Australia was
4.
3? Or was it 3 or 4?
I think it was 4 because we had Colorado. There was the UK for one of them. We had
UK was
Mexico, 2. Australia. Yeah, they've been all over the place. For God's sakes, they've had Legos in them. But this one's taking place in Japan. I don't know how big of an area they're actually covering, but they're trying to represent all the different parts of Japan. I know they did say that the city itself, the main city, is 5 times larger than any one they've made before, with a lot of stuff hidden inside of it for racing around and finding it. They've changed over a lot of the stuff where now you have to unlock and level up because you start off as a tourist. You're not actually competing in the races to begin with. You kind of wander your way into them, and you rank up by getting different wristbands, which every so often they have you run a test which to get to the next class, you're running either the classic showcases, which used to be like racing a train or a jet, or they had the Halo one where you're, racing a Pelican as it's going through and you're driving the Warthog, things like that. But they also have new rush events where you have like obstacle courses set up in different parts where you have to kind of drift and prove yourself going through it. One of the showcases they tease, though, is possibly Gundam related. So, Steven, more Gundam, more mechs for you, which I'm sure you'll be happy about.
My love for Forza already went below ground.
That's fine. This ain't for you.
I know. That's why I might have thoughts at the end, but I don't really.
That's fine.
Have much to say.
Forza's been like one of my favorite racing series. So
yeah.
It kind of looked like a Gundam's feat, but I don't think it's going to be officially Gundam. I think it's going to be legally distinct giant robot, which everybody. Yeah. Probably. But it'll be kind of fun for that. The interesting thing, though, is that when you finally finish it and you get what they call the gold wristband, that actually unlocks access to a new area that's called Legend Island. So there's a whole section of the game you cannot get to with other players until you have completed all that part, which means I have to play this Forza different than I normally do, because every time I get a Forza, the first thing I do is I drive every single road. I finish the map, get the achievement, and I'm done. Usually within the first day. Like, I will just push for all of it. And I can't do that now because there's a whole section I can't get to until I finish the game. So damn it. But yeah, they're covering Japan from like the rural areas all the way out to the cities. Seasonal changes are going to be back, but I don't know how often they're going to change them. Previously, they did every week in real time would become a new season. So that kind of worked for all four of them. They're going to have 550 cars at launch, which, some of the updates for that is I know the Ioniq 5, at least the N type, is in there. So I can have a version of my car for once in a racing game, which is great. But I hope I can remove the baby blue color because all the N type Hyundais are baby blue for some reason. And I don't want that. Some of the customization changes, you can now put liveries like the decals and stuff on windows, which you could not do before. So that'll make for some interesting full body wraps or designs that people make. Have you guys seen some of the art people do on these Forza games? Because Jesus Christ, they're ridiculous. I don't know how they do it. Like I've recreated Transformers. Like I did Hot Rod's design and a few other ones to be like toy accurate, but I can't do the art. Some of these people are doing like portraits. Like how the hell do you get portraits?
It's dedication.
Jesus. No kidding. Like that is some skill. I'm not an artist, so I have no idea. They have garages you can get now where you can customize them, store multiple cars and show them off. But the biggest one that you have to unlock is called the estate, which is like this whole valley area you can buy that's kind of partially wooded, unfinished area. You can build up all the structures however you want to make like multiple garages and developments and all this stuff. And it's real time. So it all stays there and people can come visit it in different games and see how they designed it. So it's way beyond just one little building. They did like for all the accessibility stuff, all their options from previous games are coming back, which they're really good about. They added in stuff like the high contrast mode for those for visual impairments. There's an auto driving mode. So if you just want to let the car drive itself and just enjoy the scenery, you can, which I wonder if that'll have like a photo mode tied to it. And then there's proximity radar. So if you're driving, they said for competitive racers, you can tell if cars are getting too close or they're right behind you. You can kind of have an idea for distance before passing to avoid actual damage. Tires actually wear out now. Like you can wear tires down to being bald, which God, I hope I don't have to keep continuously changing tires on these cars. Like I get it during endurance races, but I don't want to be that realistic. I got to worry about that shit in real life. like
Did Gran Turismo make it that you had to wash your car for it to go faster?
I don't know if like going faster, but I know it would build up dirt, which I think Forza did that as well for part, yeah. But I don't know. Chase, what do you think about the wearing down of wheels during just normal driving?
I think it's just for aesthetic purposes. I don't
I
think
hope
it's
so.
I don't think it's going to be for actual, unless it's like an actual like endurance race. But then again, Horizon didn't really ever do very many endurance races.
They did
They did a couple, but they
Yeah.
didn't. That wasn't necessarily their thing.
That was more of the normal Forza Motorsports thing.
Yeah.
They had a lot of endurance races.
Yeah, like your 24-hour Le Mans, your 16-hour
Mhm.
Sebring, things like that.
God bless those that do the real time versions. I skip time. I ain't doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's actually people that do that stuff on iRacing. Like they get teams together and and it's like, that's dedication.
It is. I mean, good, more power to them.
Yeah. But the game looks really good. I definitely think there's going to be a big emphasis. Like there was always, like it was always a mode or like a competition, but being in Japan, excuse me, there's going to be definitely like a big emphasis on drifting, I think, which I usually suck at. So that's like, I'm like, oh no.
Well, I remember back because they did confirm they're gonna have downhill drift races. Forza Motorsports 3, I think, was the big one, but they had an entire team that would do drifting because they added in a lot of the downhill tracks from Japan as racetracks, and they would produce videos you could download on the 360 that would kind of show like how they're drifting and abilities driving these cars and stuff. And it's just like, that's a lot of time and effort put into a game. Like, more hats off to you. I cannot do that. I'm going to hit everything on the way down.
Yeah. The other thing that I didn't really talk about that has been kind of a staple of the Horizon series is that instead of finding like older cars that are like beat up and you got to repair them, now it's just going to be you're finding like people's like JDM
Weird,
kind of souped up cars in driveways and stuff. And I was like, I think I kind of like the old way, but I mean, I kind of get it because, like people, like modifying their cars and stuff's always been a big thing in car culture in Japan. So
isn't this the new studio though? This is Playground.
This is still Playground. Yeah. They've always done the Horizon
I thought
games.
they were like Turn 5 or something before then.
No. Turn 10 does
Turn 10.
the motorsports.
Oh, okay.
And then Playground does the Horizon series.
Yeah.
And they work with Turn 10. What's left of Turn 10. So
it's probably Turn 5 now after the layoffs. There's probably only 5 of them left.
Probably just Turn.
Yeah. Pretty soon they'll just be turning out the door. But no, I think Turn 10's helping with Horizon.
Yeah.
A little bit. But yeah, Playground's always been like that's always been their baby, is Horizon's always been Playground's baby.
For sure. Some of the other stuff they added, multiplayer is now capable for custom track and even editing with the Horizon collab. So now you can start building some of your little tracks or extra stuff wherever you want in the world with people. So yeah, like I like how the game looks. I'm probably going to pick it up, but it's gotten to the point where I'm not, this is the first ones I'm not getting physically because there's just not a reason to anymore. Cause it's been a while since they've had one release that it's actually playable on the disc. And I know they do updates and stuff like that, but normally they would be, you could at least put them in and play them as they were. But I'm curious where this one's going to start.
Game looks gorgeous.
It does. Any particular type of car you're hoping for, Chase? Because I got mine. I wanted my Ioniq 5, and I got a version of it with the N. I hope I can change that color.
I'm sure that they're gonna have it in there just because it's an iconic American car. But I'm always a sucker for the Shelby Mustangs. Always a sucker for them.
I think I saw a Shelby in the trailer.
What's another?
I'll have to look and see because you either see it in the Cobra Blue,
yeah,
or it's the gray and black. That's the two you normally see for that.
Obviously, like we're definitely gonna get it because we're in Japan. But the Nissan GTR is always a favorite of mine as well. And they had like a I think they had kind of like they showed like that red one where it was like a prototype GTR. I think of some sort.
Yeah, I was about to mention that. Because there's going to be all kinds of stuff. Like what's the car from Initial D? It was it wasn't a Datsun, was it? Because I know we're going to get a lot of the classic drift cars. Like those are going to be all over the place for this one.
Probably.
I'm hoping for good modes because like one of my other favorite racing series is Tokyo Extreme Racer. I always love doing those racing down the highways, and I'm hoping they have a good highway system built up for this one so you can do those kind of races. Like I would love to have that be a feature, either be, races you have to go and do, or if the fact you can actually start them in the race would be fun. Like just be driving and just start initialize a race. Because they've had something similar in a Forza before, I think, for challenge modes.
Yeah, they had street. I think last Forza 5, they had like the street circuits, which I thought were quite fun. Some of them were brutal, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be really good, actually.
With this one that you would also pick up at launch? I'm going to get it at launch regardless, because I usually get the version where I can play a little bit early and all that stuff. But
yeah, no,
at this point, just have it.
I'll pick it up at launch for sure.
Nice. Chris hasn't said a word, so I know he's not super into a lot of the racing. And Steven cleaned his glasses, so I think we should move on.
I gave a fuck, but
well, before we move on, Steven, I know you had something you wanted to say, so go for it.
So I, as well as Chris, we were heckling the trailer. I just thought it was funny when they said, "Look at all this beautiful, lush, greenery. Let's modernize it with buildings." And I was just like, "Oh, they kill all the wildlife."
Are you talking about for the estate area? Because I think that's just like we picked a valley that you can modify.
Because they tried to play. It's just the way they said it in the trailer. They're like, "Look at this overgrown scenery. Let's make it like industrial." And all I could think of was like Fern Gully, where I'm like, "You're just destroying everything for industrial."
Play Forza. Turn paradise into a parking lot.
I think you guys are running with it a little bit much, but I do
but
get it.
But they made it look so beautiful, and then they just covered it in gray.
You don't mess any of that up. Like, well, you can go in and do like the custom tracks and things, but that's not like... That's just
no, but I'm talking about when you're building your house and your showrooms and stuff and your parking lots. And I was just like, "Oh, that poor lush greenery."
Yeah, it's one.
It would have been better if like the buildings weren't all gray. I was just like, "Come on, guys."
Well, they showed other stuff you can customize.
You probably be able to add color to it. I mean, sure, they were just probably showing you an example, because I think the estate option is actually kind of a neat thing, and then your friends can actually visit it and stuff. So I think it's actually kind of cool.
I want to see if they actually take any of the livery system and let you customize the buildings, because I would love to have like custom graffiti on there and stuff like that. Like that would be great. So,
some people also made the joke that when they showed the guys in the what do you call it, the team meeting room, they're like, "Look in the background, you can see the last Forza game that was complete on disc."
Like, now you get to watch as we get laid off in real time. They just call it the new multiplayer layoff mode. All right. Let's move on.
Pink slips.
Oh, that's even worse. All right. The next game that we saw that I'm not sure how we all feel about this one. That is the Beast of Reincarnation, coming from Pokemon developers there. What?
I like it when it's called Beast of Reincarnation too.
I had dental surgery and I'm still getting used to this, so it messes up a couple letters. I'm sorry.
No, you made the game enjoyable, so that's good.
Yeah. Steven, you want to talk about this one for a sec? I have a feeling I'm not the only one that didn't feel too great about this one.
All I know is it's a small team, and they basically don't want you to buy it on anything but PC, because even the director was like, "Wish list today, please."
Yeah, because this is from Game Freak, the people, they develop a lot of the Pokemon titles and everything, which is funny because this is coming to everything except the Switch 2. Like every console except the Switch 2, which is everyone's like, so how come not Nintendo? Are they all mad at him? Like, what's going on?
And Chris had his choice words about it too.
Oh, Chris, you got to say him now.
To me, it just felt like God of War mixed with Okami. So.
Okay.
It looks like a thing. Game Freak does like to innovate once in a while, and they'll make something cool. This might be pretty neat, but I don't know if it would be something that I would pick up immediately.
Yeah, they said this is their smallest team, so they're basically saying like, we're not using any of our Pokemon people.
They sure said Pokemon a lot during the trailer, though.
Yeah, they
they're like,
milked
remember
that
us? We
legacy.
made Pokemon. And then people looked in who was making it, and they're like, that's a very small team. I don't think anybody from Pokemon is working on this Pokemon game.
Yeah, they were definitely milking the legacy, talking about like, oh, we've got a rich tradition of Pokemon and all this other stuff. I was like, yeah, you're milking this, man.
Yeah, don't forget that other RPG you made for Switch that didn't go anywhere, even though you had Toby Fox do some music for it.
No kidding. So basically the story with this one, you play as a woman with vine-like abilities that connects with a wolf that also has plant abilities. You can use these for combat and traversal of the open world. It's a future post-apocalyptic world where plants have started merging with creatures as a type of parasite. And Steven's yawning. I get it. Like, the game did look good. I got to give them, like, the design was interesting, and I thought, some of the areas looked kind of neat. But the game had so many systems and things you could do, and all the different types of combat and everything. It was almost too busy for its own good.
So I said this at the end of it. I was just like, it has to have something that's a really good gimmick. Otherwise, why should I play this instead of Where Winds Meet, Wu-Tang, Monkey King, Lords of the Fallen, Elden Ring, Elden Foot, Elden Coat, Elden Hat, Dawn of Souls, like all these games, like there's so many of them, but if you don't have something that's going to grab you, like you're just a 7 out of 10 and you're going to be thrown in the pile with the rest of them.
I have a feeling for a lot of people, this is going to be either I'm playing it because I have Game Pass still, or I'm going to buy this because it's on sale during like a holiday sale or something.
See, yeah. And that's what was weird about the end, because the director is like, please wish list today. And I'm like, well, why are you saying that if it's on Game Pass?
Well, they probably wish listing helps with a lot of the PC stuff, because it does say
it does with Steam and PC. It doesn't do anything for consoles, but I was just like,
that's probably why, because like for Xbox, they're just like, oh, get it on Game Pass, because then you're paying us, you can play it, but you don't actually get to keep it. And once you're done, or we decide to take it, you're done with it. So I don't know. Chris, do you have any last burns you want to put on this before we move on?
Who knows? Might be good, might be bad. We won't know until it's out.
Fair enough. All right.
It's going to be the very best. Like no one ever was.
Yeah. The next game, I'm going to actually skip down one because I want to save Fable for the last bit. I want to talk about the next one they surprised us with, which was Kiln. This is from Double Fine. I love how this looks. So it's fitting that Steven tried to suck on his finger while making himself try and puke, because I thought this was adorable. It's going to be so much fun to mess around with, and I like the idea behind it because it's weird. This is coming spring 2026 for Xbox, PS5, and PC. This is another one that kind of felt like it would have been good on Switch 2. It is weird that they still haven't announced that much stuff for it. We're getting a closed beta coming soon, which I'm going to sign up for and see about playing. But the idea from this comes from, apparently Double Fine every year does what they call the Amnesia Fortnight, where they take a 2-week period, stop all development on what they're working on, and develop these small new games to kind of just get out of their space and build stuff. And they've had a lot of things come from this, like Stacking, Costume Quest, Iron Brigade, and more, which are a lot of the games I did really enjoy, especially Stacking. I absolutely love that game. But this one's a multiplayer party brawler where you play as pottery that you make and then use the pottery based on your size and shape to get different abilities and different classes to then fight against another group of pottery to either break them or gather water to put out their kiln. So you're kind of doing team-based multiplayer going through maps. The maps are laid out in ways that, depending on your size or your shape, there could be particular paths that you can or cannot take. So like a small pot might be able to fit through a little hole to get through, while a big one has to go around, but a round one might be able to roll through something that another one couldn't walk through, stuff like that. I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was cute, creative. They had little ghost butts. It was hilarious. The looks on their faces while they're using their butts to mold some of the clay was kind of hilarious, because it just looked really wrong. I don't know what about it did you hate, Steven? Because you just look like I offended your family somehow or something. Like,
Okay, there's a few things.
are you Link in disguise? And you're just like, I just want to kill it. It's all pottery.
One thing that stood out was when they're like, "What's your favorite pot to make?" The other guy's like, "Should I read from the top?" My favorite pot is the one where it goes underground and
I didn't
pops up
catch
and
that
gets
for any of
rid
it.
of my
They were just
enemies.
talking.
And I was like, "That's not your favorite pot. That's what you were told is your favorite pot."
I didn't know. I didn't catch that watching it. Everyone just kind of seemed like they were goofing off and just discussing.
None of them were actually saying what they actually like, except for probably Tim. No, my complaint was just like this. This isn't enough to grab people. I just said this could have been just like, I don't know, some kind of mini game included with the next Psychonauts, where you go to a world where this is what the world is populated around. And I was just like, other than that, there's way too many multiplayer party brawlers that this one doesn't do enough to differentiate it. It's not going to grab you like Gang Beasts or Rubber Band Thieves or anything like that. It's just breaking stuff, but it's not even like fun breaking stuff, because a lot of it's like, oh, you have these different powers that are elemental powers and stuff. And I was just like, it should be all about the breaking. Why isn't there one where you can, like a pain mode, where you can just like catapult them into other pots to see how much damage you could do or something like that? I was just like, if you're going with the fact that you like to break pots, I was just like, that should be the main focus, not this everybody shooting each other like it's some kind of Dota game. So
Well, I mean,
I
it's
was just
not.
like,
They're not really shooting each other. Like the point of a lot of it is to put out the kiln on the other side. So you've got to kind of work together, getting the water over. Different pottery has different abilities. Like I love the fact one of them can be popping popcorn and then explodes to get stuff around there, or they might have like a mace they can pop out. Like different types of attacks based on size and shape and everything. So it's most of it doesn't really look like it's going to be shooting. Um, I don't know. Like I don't think they're trying to make this a big game. Its whole intent is to be something small and cheap and just like a little mini game type thing they put together, which is what a lot of the other stuff, like I said, Costume Quest, Stacking, and Iron Brigade were.
and I bit my lip because I just said like, the Fortnite has at least given 2 out of 3 good games so far, the Amnesia Fortnite. But I was just like, they should have a full Amnesia on this one and save it for something else that it shouldn't be its own standalone. That's all.
I absolutely love this idea, and Steven hates it. So we are continuing the trend, people.
If they had put this as like a component in the last game, the Lighthouse game, I would have been absolutely perfect.
It wouldn't have fit with that, though. The Lighthouse game was a whole different thing for how that was set up. Like that, what it was is kind of its own thing, which I've really enjoyed that one as well. This wouldn't have fit in that in any way. It would have messed up the whole idea of that game. Like you can't just mix them together just because it's convenient. Like that makes no sense. That's like saying, well, Forza would be better if we had a shooter in it. How would that fit? Like it wouldn't fit.
It'd be Fortnite.
I don't want to play that in Fortnite. You know, that's not what it is.
But yeah. I don't know. I think I'm going to do a hot take or be the person on the minority here, but Double Fine is not what they used to be.
I will be on the other side of that and think Double Fine is still doing great. For a lot of the stuff they've made, I've enjoyed. Keeper has been an absolute blast, which I'm almost finishing that here soon. You know, their last stuff was Psychonauts 2. That was my game of the year when that came out. So, yeah, I still think they're doing fine. They still get to make a lot of the stuff they want to do, and I'm glad they do these things, because we complain about, you know, they could just keep pumping the same game out every single time, but I like that they're taking these breaks and going, hey, let's do something completely different, be creative, everyone can put in ideas, and we run with those ideas. And I'd rather see that. Like, you know, even if you don't like them, I think you can at least appreciate the fact these exist rather than just never happening. Because I don't see how that benefits anybody just not to happen. Chris, I'm kind of curious on your thought on this one from the artist side.
Certainly looks interesting. I wish there was more of a single player bent to it. It looks very party mode, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but sometimes you just want to create and see. I would want to see what kind of story they would come up with for this, especially since they went so wild in terms of background and just the way the world looks.
Mm-hmm.
I would be very surprised if there wasn't some sort of story element. And if there isn't, I think that is a shame, because that's what I feel Double Fine does best. They've always excelled at telling tales. So if this is just a bunch of a pottery party, then cool. It's creative, and that's always a plus. But I think there should be a story element somewhere.
Yeah, the art style kind of fits with it, because a lot of like the little spirits that are taking over the pottery remind me of like the figments from Psychonauts. It's the same art style they use for a lot of that for their limbs and things. So that's a consistency kind of moving over from that. But yeah, Chase, you have any thoughts on this one?
I definitely think this is a good example of where two things can be true at the same time. Because like, while I do agree with what Jeremy's saying in the sense that it's nice that they take this break and people put out their ideas, and and these smaller projects, some of them get made or whatever. I also do believe that I do kind of agree with Swan that I just feel like this is going to get lost in a sea of party brawlers / party games that are out there. It looks interesting. It looks fun. I'm not saying it doesn't look fun. And it's definitely a wacky kind of out of their idea. And I applaud the fact that they were able to that somebody was able to actually try this. I'm definitely interested if there's going to be, like, I think it's one of those things that if we all decided to like get it and try it, something like that, I'd get it and try it. Like, I'm not opposed to it.
Steven, I will buy your copy. He's like, fuck.
You heard it here first. If it's Demio versus Pottery Barn, I'm going to get Pottery Barn probably.
I'll probably end up having to buy both just so I can play them. Damn it.
Yeah, we're still waiting on Demio.
Yeah.
Waiting for that sale.
Yeah.
I had to buy a bunch of stuff this week, so I didn't get a chance to get it. I kind of forgot to order that. Otherwise, we'd be playing it, Steven or Chase. So we'll figure it out, damn it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's good though. It's good that they, like I said, it is good that they get to try these, new ideas and stuff. I think that's something that Double Fine's doing well. But when I saw what it was, I was like, this is an interesting combo. But okay, go for it. Go for gold.
I like the little jokes and things they put into it, like with the history of pottery and stuff, like especially the levels being, like you've got the one that's like Athena's battle map from, that ancient time, but like you could use some of the water to like make sponge soldiers to block and change the paths that people can take. They had the kind of grunge rock concert Egypt place that even has like a little mosh pit that falls down. And if that goes down, it won't go back up until only one pot is left. So you have to bash each other until only one survives, which I guess would benefit the bigger ones. You have to kind of figure out how that goes. They had like little touches with that. And I think, Chris, in your case of asking about story, I think there's going to be story there, but it's going to be like how some of their other titles are, where it's kind of more of a background, like interactions as you play or discovering things. But I think this is going to be mostly for people to play together. That's kind of what they're talking about for, you can get together and make the pottery and do stuff, but each person can design their own. I'm sure there's going to be some kind of single player aspect to it, at least for messing with that part or creating stuff as you're unlocking it. But I don't know. I kind of appreciate the fact they're not trying to make this big, it has to beat Fortnite or be some giant, huge multiplayer. It's just, if you get it, small groups of people will have fun with it. And that's it. Like, that's their whole point. They're not trying to make the next big thing every single time, because I don't think that's what they're expecting. None of the titles that they've mentioned before, and I hate to ask this because I'm not going to like the answer, but Steven, what was the 2 you didn't like from their previous ones? Because I listed 3 and you're like, well, they've done one good one. And I was like, God damn it, I'm not going to like this.
They did 2 good ones, Iron Brigade and Custom Quest.
How did I know? Because stacking
That's what I bit my
was so good.
I saw
much
him bite
fun.
his lip and stacking. I was like, yeah, I know which one the one is already.
I
was
love
just
the
like,
puzzle aspect.
I do not plan this at all. I swear to God, guys, if you guys need to know what kind of games to play, ask one of us, because you'll either love it or hate it, because there's always 50-50 chance when it comes to Jeremy and myself. One of us will hate it and one of us will love it. And if we both love it, it's Game of the Year.
If we both hate it, oh my God.
Run.
Yeah. So like, I have to ask, what about stacking did you not like? I have to know.
Can I say everything?
Give me a short list. Because I can give you the list of everything I liked, and it'd probably be just as long.
They already turned it off with the box art, and I was just like, I don't want to play with those. And it just, I don't know, nothing grabbed me at all. It just looked like, what is this, shovelware from Double Fine? What's going on? And I was just not.
Have you played it at all? Because
Huh?
I would not call this shovelware. This is like a deep story, bunch of puzzles. Like you're on this ship using the Russian doll design, kind of as you change characters. It's a fun way to do that.
I didn't like that.
But have you played it?
I think way back when I might have tried it, but
because
One, it
it's
wasn't giving
involved.
me-
Like, you know, Chris was talking about he wants more of a story. That has a story. There's a bunch of
I
little
think-
stories
I think
everywhere.
at the time, one, it wasn't giving me achievements, and two, it would just was extremely boring for me. So I've kind of like blocked it out of my mind. Iron Brigade, though, was awesome.
Well, I know what his challenge for next year is going to be.
Don't torture us in 2027.
Stacking deserved better. All right, let's move on to the last one for this. Fuck you, Steve. All right, so Fable was the last game that they showed off. Steven apparently loves it. I hate it. No, I'm just kidding. I actually really did enjoy it. This one's also from Playground Games, which they've always been well known for their open worlds, and people were wondering how it was going to be with them taking over Fable. And I've liked the trailers they've put out. I liked the character design, the humor, everything in there that they did. And this is just kind of paying off for me, the continuation of that. We're getting it autumn 2026 for Xbox Series X, S, PC, and PS5, which it seems like it's going to be an across-the-board release when it comes out. So unlike Forza, which is getting a delay on PS5 for whatever reason, Fable may be day and date. So you can create your character if you want. So those a-holes that got all pissed off because they had a woman in there, you can calm down and make your character. I thought the character they made was kind of funny, and I was looking forward to using her. But you can create your character, which a couple of the Fables let you do that. Some of them didn't as much. I think Fable 3, you had to choose between the brother or sister. Fable 1 and 2, I believe you could customize your character how you wanted. So the fun thing with this that I like, every NPC has a life of their own. So you can affect it and how they react to you based on your choices and more. So each person you see, you can kind of see how they judge you. But it can be stuff like if you get a bunch of money and you buy up all the houses, some people may respect you for being rich. Others may think you're just a snob and not like you. But then you can rent out the houses to people and they may be grateful for you because they have the house, or they may hate you because you evicted them, which was kind of funny. They had that on there. You can buy businesses and have people work for you. And they showed them like, well, they like you because you employ them and you pay them well. Or they don't like you because you treat them like shit, or you fired them, or do whatever.
No, the best one is this person dislikes you because they think you're a twat. I was like, yes.
They kind of feels like this one is kind of living up to more of the promises that Molyneux tried to make on the first Fable. Not so much of like, you can plant a seed and grow a tree, but like things that you do will affect the map for the entire game, which makes it, I kind of want to play through it multiple times just to try different styles and different weapons and things. But like the description they used, they had the giant that we've seen in the previous trailers. And I kind of wish they hadn't spoiled this in the reveal, but they've
that sealed the deal for me. I can kill the guy from IT Crowd and he'll be dead the entire game, and he'll drive up house prices because it's horrible to have a corpse there.
Drive down. Yeah, I'll drive him down. You don't like
Yeah.
Richard Iowa? I thought he was funny.
I don't want to listen to him fully voiced. I don't want to know about his life. Die.
I think it'd be funny to have a giant with his voice talking the whole time. It'd be great. But yeah, if you kill him, his body just lays there, and I'm curious, like, does it rot? Is it just there? Like, what happens with it? I kind of wonder if they're going to have like something like, oh, the magic won't let him rot, and he's just stuck there, something like that. It would be worse though if he does start to smell and fall away. That could be disgusting. Combat still features a mix of hand-to-hand combat as well as magic, which they're talking about the heroes, that you have for this new age are the only ones that can use magic, which is why it's kind of new. A lot of returning enemies from classic games. Most importantly, you can still kick a chicken and be called Chicken Chaser.
I want to be called Chicken Kicker though.
Well, I always remember from even the earlier Fables, I had that nickname. Oh, hey, Chicken Chaser. Like, I just remember them always calling me that. Because every time I saw a chicken, you had to kick it. It was just funny. And, well, that's what happened. But you can live your life how you want now. You can learn new trades, build money up, purchase houses, businesses more, do all kinds of stuff to affect them. You can marry people. You can marry multiple people if you're sneaky about it in different places until they find out. Good luck with that. You can get divorces. You can have kids with them. I don't know how the life of those kids are going to go. I don't know if you can, how kids are going to be affected in this game. Can you kill them? I don't know. We will find out. So maybe if you turn him into a giant, you can just kill the kid. I don't know. So it seems like most of us are pretty interested in how this one's going to actually play out. Steven, I'll get your thoughts on it first.
So my favorite Fable is 3. I beat that one 4 times.
Can you guess which one mine is?
What?
Can you guess which Fable is my favorite?
2?
Yeah.
So, in the past they had a lot more like the choices you made changed your character, like horns and all that stuff.
Yeah.
What I really liked about the third one, that's why I was really happy with what they were saying in this one, is in the third one, because you were a king half the time, spoiler, but you could make these decisions that really drastically change the game. You could say, I want that to be a lake, or I want that to just be more buildings and stuff like that, and you would just be a giant hole in the ground with some houses and stuff. But more importantly is you could make drinking perfectly legal for all ages, so then everybody would walk around drunk. You could say everybody could have sex, so suddenly there would be a lot more children than you remember seeing before. There was just a lot of things you could do to just make your world yours. And I'm glad they're staying with all that, because that's what I really liked about 3 is, some people won't like that they kind of made decisions more far reaching and not something that you could just fine tune. But I just liked it that like the town could be different each time you played. So that's why, again, I beat it 4 times, because I loved playing through that.
I need to go back and play it some more. I think I liked 2 because I always thought that was the better single player for the story because it was more personable, but the multiplayer kind of sucked. But then 3, I didn't like the story as much, but the co-op was a lot better. So it was like kind of back and forth like that for me. Chris, what about you? What are your thoughts on this new Fable?
I never played a Fable game, so
really,
it's not really on my radar.
So, Steven, if we made him play a Fable, which one should we start with? I guess you would say 3.
Fable Hero, so we won't feel bad if he gives up right away.
That's just wrong, man. I'd rather him play like the pub games one, like over that. Chase, what about you? What are your thoughts on the new Fable?
Looks good. I'll definitely be playing it. Chanel definitely want to play it. The only thing that I have questions about is how this system actually works with the whole, the whole moralities thing and people liking you and disliking you and stuff. Because it's like, I hope this isn't something that we're being overpromised and under-delivered on, because sometimes these things tend to be.
The Molyneux effect?
Yeah. And so
it sounds like they're going to do it exactly how they've done past ones, which isn't that hard to do, where they just call you something or act a certain way around you all the time, because they showed people who were like, "Ooh, he's awesome, dude," and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's pretty easy to do. They did it in 3 pretty well, so I don't think that part's the hard part. It's like he said, it's how like the kids and stuff will do. Like, are they going to expand upon any of these things
Right.
past what they've already done in the first 3 Fables? Is my guess, because the giant thing was a new thing. Because I was just like, so you mean a giant thing I killed stays there the entire game? Perfect.
And I'm wondering how many different large events like that can happen, outside the giant situation.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they just use that as an example. They said there's going to be more opportunities for things like that. So it's going to be, like I said, I am interested and I am going to get this game. It's just sometimes with RPGs, they tend to overpromise and underdeliver. So I'm a little wary.
I think with this one, now that Kingdom of Deliverance 2 exists, they have to live up to that first, and then they can build upon the Fable.
Yeah, it's true.
The
game looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it does. I didn't hear anything about it, but because we were talking about it earlier, are they going to have any kind of co-op in this one, or is it single player only?
Probably single.
Because I don't remember hearing anything about co-op this time.
They didn't mention
it. Like single right now.
Unless it's something that they're going to
like the co-op.
Unless it's something that they talk about later, but they never. Yeah. I didn't hear them mention it once.
Or sell you an expansion for $30. I don't know.
Welcome to modern gaming. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense with how they're doing the system to be single player, but I think I liked how they did in some of the older games where like your character just kind of showed up. People were a little bit more indifferent to that extra person. And you could just kind of goof off and have fun. So if nothing else, we'll have the single player where we can share stories about what we've done. Like, I found this person and here's what I did to them. And, I found that person, I did this and this is what happened, and kind of get those stories out of it to share. I can see a lot of times they're going to be making clips and sharing it on the Discord. I can tell you that now. So
I'll be sharing my character creation.
Oh, I'm sure. We have to do that. We have to show what our character is going to look like. So, all right. Well, let's real quick give a quick grade, do we think, to this little developer direct, because it's the first direct or event we've had this year. So might as well go ahead and do that. Chris, why don't you start us off? What do you think of this direct?
I don't know. I can't really grade it very well because they're not games that I would be interested in. I'm sure there are people who love what happened, but I don't know. I give it a B for presentation, I suppose.
Okay. Stephen, what about you?
I give it a C because I can only see myself playing one of the games announced.
Chase?
Probably give it a B. I mean, Horizon 6 and Fable definitely carried it.
Okay. I'm going to go with a B as well. The only game I did not have an interest in was Beast of Reincarnation. Everything else, I loved how it looked. I'm going to be playing it. I will be making pottery. Fuck you, Steven.
Incarnation was my favorite game ever. Dang it.
Oh, once again, I love the fact we can disagree and we're okay with it.
Yeah, it's just Beast of Reincarnation. It's just I'm trying to figure out why a lot of these studios actually want to make like these forks. It's like they just assume it's a quick cash grab because you're just getting lost in a sea of Souls likes.
It's the year of samurais. We have or the 12 months of samurais, because we've had Assassin's Creed Shadows, we've had Ghost of Yotei, we're getting Neo 3, we're getting Beasts of Reincarnation.
Yeah, but Neo 3 is going to be a way like
we're getting that Blade game. I forget the first word in it, but it's another sword fighting samurai game. So I was like, it's they're going ham on samurais, but the problem is like, unless you're Ghost of Yotei and Tsushima where your audience and you do it right, the other ones are just like, just throw a Souls-like experience and call it a day. I'm like, don't do that.
Don't do that. I find it funny for the people that make Pokemon, air quoting the shit out of that. They're making a game with so many mechanics and so many complications to how it looks to play. like even just basic things look like you're menu diving before you're in the middle of a fight, and it's like, oh, it slows down time so you can make picks, and like just you guys did such a good job with Pokemon games usually being able to, with turn-based combat and kind of how the systems work where people as young as kids to adults can enjoy it. Where are those developers? Because they're not here. Like,
I'm really excited about the new Onimusha coming out, but I'm extremely worried that it is not going to have any familiarity with it, and it is going to play like a Soulsborne, and I hope it doesn't.
I hope not as well. Yeah. I forgot about that one, but that looks like it'd be a good one. All right, let's move on to our last story for the night. So Nintendo dropped a trailer for Super Mario Bros. Wonder Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Meetup in Bellabel Park, which is just such a long freaking name. Like they should have thought of some better way to shorten that. But they were showing off new features in the Amiibo coming out March 26th. This was going to be just a speed run, but they announced so much stuff. I was like, it's a little long. We need to talk about it. So Rosalina is a playable character, which we kind of knew that was going to happen, but they actually showed her. But the nice part about it is Luma is now a co-player or co-star, which is a funny pun because it's a star. That becomes available when there's 2 or more players at any time. So as long as you have one other person playing, the second player can choose Luma to play. You can use normal controls for moving Luma around to attack enemies, collect coins, things like that. But you can on Switch 2 use the mouse controls. So people that are not used to controls at all or need some kind of assistance or whatever can use the mouse to move the character around as well, which I think is a nice touch. Jennifer's probably going to really enjoy that one. They also added in the assist mode, which is available for all characters. It's not just limited to some of the details with the Yoshis or everything with Nabbit. Go ahead, Steven.
I forgot, did they mention that if like I played with like Mario and Peach, that one person could be on assist mode and the other not?
I think so. I think you can choose how it functions for that person in multiplayer.
Okay.
Because I'm hoping that's the case. Because then,
like, father, son, father, daughter, like...
Yeah, it's what I would use
husband,
with Jennifer.
wife who doesn't play games, stuff like that. Like,
because that's part of why Jen loved playing as Nabbit. Because back when Nabbit was introduced during the new Luigi U days, he could not get hurt. He could fall down holes, but he couldn't get damaged or get power-ups. So that's how she was learning to play and could enjoy it with us while we played normal characters. And it kind of just stuck, and now she just loves Nabbit. So if you're playing in the assist mode, you can't get hurt by enemies. If you fall down a hole, you just pop back up with a flower and just kind of float down. So it just lets people enjoy that however they want. If you're playing back through stuff and you don't want to fight with the challenges, you can just run through it. But that also means Nabbit and Yoshi, I believe, can be played like normal characters now, which I wonder, do they have transformations too? Because before they didn't. I really want to see Nabbit as an elephant. That's going to be great.
Yeah, they didn't want to break the internet, so they didn't show Rosalina turning into an elephant.
That's a good point. They did not show that. Bellabel Park is the big expansion that this game is getting, which has a couple different parts to it. There's Attraction Central, which is local multiplayer-focused arena for local or game share play. They have Game Room Plaza, which is an online multiplayer for up to 12 players with 6 different games. They have the Toad Brigade Training Camp, which is basically like a challenge area. You'll play through up to 4 players local through different challenges. As you rank up, you get different Toad Brigade ranks, and you get more of these events as you play through the game. And you get little patches when you finish, so that'll be a fun collectathon. They have a mode called Tracking Down the Koopalings, where the 7 Koopalings steal the bells from Bellabel Park. You have to use clues to find out what levels they're in, go hunt them down, and beat them, and they transform in different ways and all that. And then lastly, they announced 3 new amiibos were coming for it. Elephant Mario, the Poplin and Prince Florian, and then Captain Toad and the Talking Flower. We have no idea what they do yet. We just know they're going to be there, and that I'm going to end up buying them. I've already pre-ordered them, so we know that's going to happen. So it's $29.99 for each of them. They're up for pre-orders at your favorite retailer, so go grab them if you want. So with this update and the unannounced, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD Switch 2 update, which first-party games do you think could be next? Steven?
So I think this is on everybody's mind. but I would like them to give some rollback netcode and to stabilize the performance of Smash Brothers Ultimate.
God, yes.
I don't expect a new character. I don't mind if they do maybe another Mii character or another stage, but I will still be okay if it's just a performance update,
Mm-hmm.
because as we'll cover quickly later, I didn't expect them to do what they did to Donkey Kong.
No, and that is a big update too. Chase, what about you? What Nintendo title from the Switch would you want to see get an update?
I'm actually just satisfied with Donkey Kong Country, to be fair. As soon as I heard that, I was like, yep, I'm in. You got me.
Nice. Chris, any from you?
Honestly, I couldn't say. It happened so quickly, I hadn't really had time to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, Donkey Kong for me was a nice surprise because, I mean, I already enjoyed how it played, but like it was a big difference out of the blue without any announcement. But most of the first party games, they've kind of done updates for in one way or another. Smash Brothers, like I said with Steven, is the only one that it's like we really could use that, because not only would we finally have a complete edition, which I would lovingly buy.
There's 3 others that are missing though.
Which ones?
Actually, no, I'm going to give it 4.
Okay.
Give it. Everybody's hoping that this is the year of the updates to the Xenoblades.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. I'm still shocked. Like Xenoblade Chronicles X has gotten a few updates and it did increase some stuff, but not as much as they hoped. Like they're not actual.
Yeah, everybody's hoping for a Switch 2 edition of all 4 of those, because that'll solidify them as just like they already ran pretty good, but now they'll run perfectly with the stronger hardware.
That's a good point.
I did want to point out in that Mario Wonder trailer, nobody seemed to like say anything about that new power up he got flower? At the end. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure on that one. Like they kind of hinted at it and let it go, and
it was like, "Hey, new power up," and everybody's just like, "Why isn't anybody talking about that?"
I was trying to remember because you do so many weird things in that game. I was like, "Did I just forget about that one? Like, is it a one-off?"
Mario just turned into Swamp Thing.
There's so much shit in that game I probably haven't seen yet. I'm like, maybe I just missed that, like, or I don't remember it. But
I'm excited because then now I will play it completely and not just play the beginning and go on to the next game.
Nice. All right, let's go over to the speedrun. Speaking of Nintendo, they announced the Talking Flower toy will be releasing on March 12th, 2026.
My birthday.
Good to know. It talks twice per hour, kind of acts like an alarm clock, but apparently can get the time wrong. It'll be quiet at night. We can take a break with the press of a button. Talks at set times for waking up and going to bed that you can set. Talks about the weather with a temperature sensor and features 11 different languages built into this thing. It also knows when its battery's running low, so I don't know if that's either rechargeable, which I hope it is, or if you have to replace them. But I love how it announces that its batteries are low and then questions what batteries are. Because why not? It's going to be $34.99. It can be purchased from the My Nintendo Store website or New York or San Francisco stores, as well as some select retailers. Okay. I thought they only mentioned it as just being online.
I thought the same thing too, but it's up for pre-order at Video Games Plus and GameStop.
Okay. Well, I'll check GameStop tomorrow because I didn't see anything about that.
I heard GameStop's going to sell it through their back door, and then if you try to buy it through there, they're going to sell it back in the store again.
Ah, the New Zealand method.
I think that's only in New Zealand, though.
Let's say that we call that the New Zealand.
I, for one, have already pre-ordered one. I'm excited. If I see them in stores, I might buy another one just so I can have it wake me up in German. But we'll see.
I'm debating if I want to get one because I never picked up Alarmo either. I see it on occasion and I keep debating if I wanted to get it, but I'm like,
so as much as all the other stuff that Alarmo does, the biggest thing for me has been that the entire thing turns off like dark. But then if I like raise my head like I just woke up, it conveniently senses the motion and shows me the time, and then I can lay back down and it goes dark again. So I really like that feature that I haven't gotten from an alarm clock before. So is it worth $100 if that's all you're using it for? No, because it's got all that Mario, Pikmin, Zelda, Kirby stuff on it. So it's better if, one, you don't have pets who walk around. But if you have pets, it's going to get confused whether you got up from bed or not.
I have 4 cats and I've been married for years. So,
but the motion sensing is great. Well, it doesn't sense that far away,
Okay.
which is good because it's meant to be at your bedside. But because I have a cat hut right next to the alarmo, and I have a cat that walks by and either lays next to me or lays in his bed, it'll keep thinking I'm getting up. So for what I use it for, I like it. So.
Yeah, we try and keep the cats out of our room at night because it's just they're idiots. They will wake us up every time. Next up, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD got a free update that we mentioned earlier in the Switch 2 update, which is available now. They added in Dixie Kong as a playable character along with her hover abilities. I love the fact that if you're playing the game as Dixie Kong and you go into a cutscene that has Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong, she will hand clap Diddy, leave. Diddy will come in, do the video, and then hand clap and leave again for her to come back in. The same style animation that they would swap out in the old Super Nintendo game. I love that little detail that they went through all that trouble to be like, yeah, no, we're just going to explain why she's not in the videos with this little transition. Because they didn't have to do that. They would have just been like, oh, it's the pre-rendered video. We're not going to deal with it. No, they did a whole animation in and out. So there's a lot of graphical fixes to bring it in line with the original releases effects wise. So like sunsets were fixed, lighting effects, things like that to match up with the newer style of the original Wii release. Much faster load times, 4K rendering, and game share on Switch 2. And then a turbo attack mode for speed running that's available on that one as well. But yeah,
When's the last time you got a free update that added a character
and a mode and of it that they didn't make you pay for.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, and this wasn't covered in the beginning, so I didn't know this was getting an update. It's just like, surprise.
Yeah. I guess they figured like we need to do an update to fix this stuff. Let's just make it a big one and just put it out. So whatever. Lastly, Ubisoft has canceled a number of games, including Prince of Persia: Sands of Time Remake. Just out of the blue, I think they canceled like 6 titles. But they are apparently still working on Beyond Good and Evil 2. So
they've already made a statement. It's one of their pillars. So it was definitely still coming out because, like they said, they are going ham on open world, which is Chase's favorite thing. Is if you make everything open world, it's the only way to do it.
God, if Beyond Good and Evil 2 is one of their pillars, that building's coming down. Like, I've given up on that game because I think it's at the point of the record of being the longest developed game at this point.
Because apparently, out of the 6 or 7 games that they canceled, it was supposed to be 3 or 4 new IPs, another game, and then a mobile game. So we're probably not getting that Splinter Cell sequel on mobile. That's probably been canceled.
Probably not getting a Splinter Cell at all.
Yeah, so
and people are still wondering if the Black Flag remaster is getting canceled or not.
And you think remasters, like, it's a good time to do those and put them out for certain ones. Like if you're trying to shore up support, like that would be a good hit for like Switch 2, which, was the highest selling system last year. And even though sales have slowed down, it's still a record amount of those systems out there. Like it's available.
Well, that's what gives me some kind of hope because as I posted in Discord, they recently in Australia, they did a classification for Rayman 30th anniversary for PS5 and Switch. So, and it looks like it's going to be published by Atari, which it means it'll probably also be through limited run, but hopefully it'll be a collection of them. Like some of these other titles that are coming out from them are kind of like, what was it? They just recently did one that had a bunch of their platformers on there, but yeah, using their Carbon engine. Oh, like Gex Trilogy. Like here's all 3 of the 2D ones. They give us all the 2D Raymans because we know 3D would have to be something separate. But
it's funny you mentioned like it had a bunch of platformers and Gex was the last thing that's going to pop in my mind to something. I'm like, oh yeah, those existed. They're just a little better than Bubsy.
And Bubsy 4D's coming, and that's surprisingly really good.
Yeah, it's not helping your argument.
We're going to get to a Sunshine game right now.
Gex was one of those games that was like, yeah, it looked good, but it really made you realize the limitation of how many voice lines they could have when it constantly repeated the same damn thing. It got old real fast. Yeah. Trying to be Dana Carvey. All right. So let's move on to the big question. All All right. So this week's question, this one's from Steven as well. You'll have to explain this one, so I'll let you go first, Steven. But with the trend 4 in February, be 4 games in that month, what are 4 games you're looking to finish in February or the near future?
So this trend started on a Facebook group and kind of bled into before the hellscape became what it is today. But back when it was more personable, like people were sharing like something that they had previously dropped off of, and they wanted to pick up again. So this was kind of like an excuse for to pick up a game that you had a save for and you wanted to complete, or something new you wanted to start of a saga, a trilogy, anything like that. And while the success rate is never 100%, it's not even probably at 50%. It's just nice that what this does is kind of lights a fire in some people, saying like, yeah, I should pick up that game again, I should finish it, and then I'm prepped for the next one, or I've wanted to play this one, so now I'm going to play it to completion, so then I can play the sequel that's coming out this year or something like that. So it just gets people back into what they neglected over the holidays, because the holidays all the blockbusters came out or something like that.
Right. Okay.
So for me, and I actually bought a like signboard from Walgreens that had all the letters that you put on it. So I put now playing, and those are the games I'm looking to beat. So I have on there right now, I need to beat Yakuza 5.
Okay.
And then I have to go back and play Yakuza 3 Dark Ties. Thanks, Sega. That's coming out. Titanfall 2. Metroid Prime 4. And I think the 4th one is up in the air, but unfortunately, because of when it's shipping to me, I can't put Resident Evil 9 in that, obviously. That would be one hell of a playthrough to play it in one day when it comes out on the 27th. But no, I think there's going to be something else that's going to either get announced, or I have to rebeat Ball X Pit again because of the update coming for that. So I'll be busy with the 4th game. I just don't have what it is it's going to be yet.
All right. Chris, what about you?
Well, I'm probably going to be carrying next in like the next week or so that'll probably be the first one.
Nice.
I also got 2 new games for Switch. One of them that I had on PC that I just never played, Persona 4 Ultimax.
Ooh.
And so I'll probably take my time and finally finish that. That's 2 separate visual novel games. So maybe that'll count for 1, maybe that'll count for 2. And there's also a voxel roguelite called Heart and Slash that I recently got. It's basically a 3D voxel beat 'em up. That's pretty neat, all told. It's basically, if anybody here has played Cyborg Justice, it's kind of like that, but 3D.
Wow, I need to see it now.
Okay, yeah, we need clips of this on the Discord. Stat. Okay, cool. What are you playing it on?
I'm playing it on Switch. So
perfect. You can just take clips from there.
Yeah, Nintendo Store link.
Yeah, that works too. All right, Chase, what about you?
So I don't usually I'm not very successful with these, but
it could be board games too.
So for me, it'll be Rogue Trader. It'll be probably finished in February. Time Splitters 2. I was thinking about which one I was going to do after that. I might try to get into Carrion. Might use that as my excuse to get into Carrion.
Nice. It's not super long, but I think you'll like it.
And then Bolt Gun. I'm going to play and beat Bolt Gun.
All right. So I had to stop and think about this before, because when Steven first suggested it, I was like, I've never heard of this. I wasn't sure of the idea. And I don't normally play games with the idea of like beating so many over a certain amount of time. With a lot of my stuff, I'll enjoy them, but I don't always finish the games.
Yeah. And the thing behind it is it's just supposed to kind of rekindle older games that you've left behind. It is in no way a speedrun contest. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So you're not trying to just beat 4 games in a month. That's just the ultimate goal that almost nobody reaches. But it's all the fun games along the way that you experience because of it.
And that's what I tried to keep in mind when you explained it. So the first one I chose was Keeper. because I was really enjoying that. It's not a super long game, but I've got a good way through it. But I had to travel a lot while I was playing it, so I haven't got a chance to sit down and finish it. And I was like, okay, I'm probably not going to start this until February again, so I can make that one of the ones I finish. It's a good reason to go back to it. The next one is the older TMNT game from the animated movie that they did, because once again, our friend Waffles over on the Discord for his podcast was wanting some of us to join and talk about.
Wait, which one? The CG one or Wrath of the Mutants?
CG one.
Okay.
Yeah. This was like back when it was Windows DVD or Xbox 360 and I think Wii.
Yeah, I played through that one. It is good. I enjoyed it.
I liked it. I had it on PC, and I think my PC at the time was not great, so it didn't run very well, so I ended up giving up on it. I'm sure now I can run it just fine, but it's just getting it to run because it's on a damn DVD.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it.
I'm trying to find an Xbox 360, PS3, or Wii copy of it because I think I would enjoy it more as a console game.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed the movie. I thought I really liked that one.
Really wanted more in that series.
Yeah, I thought that would have been a fun way to carry it over. It was still such a weird voice to face match with Patrick Stewart, just being this big dude. Like, I get it, he's bald. That's great. But just, the voice did not fit that look. I don't know why, but it's still funny to have. Next one is Pokemon Legends ZA. I've made it a pretty good way through the story, and this, once again, is an excuse for me to get back in and finish it. Because if I had thought about it, like, I went back and finished the story for what was it? Fantasy Life I, the Girl Who Steals Time, because I realized, I just have to go talk to this guy and I can do the final battle. So I finished it yesterday, and I was like, cool, it's done now, or today actually. So I could have held that out and had an easy one. And welcome back to the fact that we had a complete crash right as I was trying to mention my next game for this year, which is Resident Evil. We just shut up again. Resident Evil 6.
Woo!
Because I've never actually played through much of it, and since Steven made the offer of us playing co-op through it, I kind of want to. So I was going to pick it up on whatever system we decide we want to get it for, and play through it from there. I think you were saying Switch, or I think that was the main one, or PlayStation, wasn't it?
I'm hoping we can still I think we can still game chat through it. But we run it on Switch too, which it runs at 60 now. So
yeah, and we can just do game chat in it, which will be great because I love that feature on the Switch too, but we really have not used it much, have we?
Yeah, we could just use it without the camera and see how it holds up.
It should be fine either way, but yeah, doing just voice for that would be fine with me because then we can just shrink it down and have the icons. I'm still shocked you and I haven't played chess yet. Now that we figured out we both like chess, we have tried to play chess in multiple different games, including Peak, by the way. I love that we played an entire round of chess in Peak. It was just fun.
I think it played better in It Takes Two, though.
I agree, yeah. We should have gone back. I don't think there was an achievement for it, but I was like, we almost played an entire round with speed chess.
They had infinite chess, and I was just like, what?
Yeah, we could be here a while. And as an add-on for that, I do have a bunch of the game room hardware set up that I've been working to fix. I actually took my analog video and audio matrix that I had bought. Like, it worked great for 480i, 240p, stuff like that, but 480p, it just would not work correctly, and I found out a bunch of the capacitors inside of it were starting to swell. I'm hoping that was the problem, and I recapped it yesterday, so it's got all new stuff. I plugged it in, nothing exploded, good sign. So I'm going to hook it up tomorrow and see, hey, you play with capacitors, explosions can happen.
You can always get the those GameStop brand composite to HDMI that you like so much.
Oh my God. Every time someone tries to sell me those, I'm just like, just take your shit and leave. Like, I don't care. They bug me. I'm not even going to go on a rant. I could. I hate those things with a passion.
Extra quarters, what grinds our gears.
Oh, God. I will get passionate in a very annoying, asinine way. I'll tell you that right now. But yeah, so that's the fourth game for me is Resident Evil 6. So we can finally play that and have that under the belt as we move into 7, 8, and 9 for Switch 2 as well. So, all right. now that we'll finish the big question, which has been oddly split. I don't know how this edit's going to go. Good luck for that. But once again, thank you for, I guess this is technically episode 205B at this point. I don't know. We're just the second half of it. What was it, Steve or Chase? You were saying like your microphone just connected randomly, and that's what caused the Zencaster to freak out.
Yeah, the Zencaster did not like that microphone like randomly disconnected.
If he's not going to talk, no one's going to talk.
I hope this edit sounds okay because Chris had a point. I don't know where this stopped. We didn't listen to it yet. So we're going to find out. But like I said, this has been episode 205. If you're enjoying the show, please leave us a like or leave us a comment on the YouTube video. That helps a lot. Share it with your friends. Leave us a review on the podcast app of your choice. That helps spread the word as well. We are all at the mercy of the algorithmic gods of trying to get out there and get people to enjoy the show and talk with us. But if you want to talk to us directly, you can also find us over on our Discord. That's the easiest way to do it. All of this can be found over at zenspath.com. Just go there. You can find the latest videos, shorts, the audio versions of it, articles that I think I've written. If anybody else wants to write one, we can. Other little things like that on there, plus our link to our Discord and other stuff for social media. But yeah, I've been your host, Jeremy Powers, joined once again by Stephen, Chase, and Chris. And we're out. Peace.
By the power of Grayskull.
He has the power. This has been a production of the Zenspath Entertainment Network Podcast by the staff at zenspath.com. The show is created and edited by Jeremy Powers. You can find the video edition of the show on our YouTube channel at ZenspathCom. The audio edition is located wherever you find your podcasts. Links to all versions of the show, as well as to our Discord where you can talk with us directly, is located at www.zenspath.com. Please leave us a like, thumbs up, comment, and review where you can to help us grow.